call the meeting to order, 6:04 p.m. This is the Townsend Finance Committee. Roll call attendance, please.
Carol Hoffs is present.
Gerald Mezek is present.
Mary Jane Litchfield present.
Kathleen Spofford present.
Sam Grant present.
Dave Walker present.
John Hayes present. That's a full board, so we have a quorum, so we can continue. The meeting is being recorded. It will be available for playback on the local cable channels as well as on the YouTube. Okay. At this time, are there any other people recording this meeting?
Yep.
Okay. And that would be Cindy King, just so we're confirming. Additions or deletions to the agenda, I have none at this point. And so we will move on to the work session. And the first item on the work session is the town administrator introduction. I believe a lot of people have already met Karen.
I hope I'm old news. But,
Dave Walker.
Dave Walker came in.
Nope, Dave, nice to meet you virtually from across the table. I'm your interim town administrator, Kieran. Last name's Meehan. Live in Dunstable. Was writing grants for you guys and doing your housing admin and housing authority since about March. And then sort of a wide variety of backgrounds and such. I'm a select board member in Dunstable, was formerly a chair, vice chair member. Also spent 4 or 5 years on their financial board as well as advisory committee, capital planning, conservation, community preservation act, community preservation committee, NIMCOG, you name it, I've probably done it in that town. Also heard the gripes of our highway crew from paving issues and stepped in the potholes and broken a few ankles along the way. So looking forward to working with you guys and truly giving, helping collect the budget worksheets, input it into the spreadsheet, and then let you guys opine and sort of come up with a plan to continue Townsend's sort of build out process and try to get a budget that works for the town and isn't too expensive for the taxpayers. So looking forward to working together. I'm going to try to come to as many meetings as I can with you guys, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to step on your toes, but it helps me be informed and helps me relay things to the select board, but also, residents that come in from time to time, or one gentleman who said, hey, I need more salt on my roads. I said, all right, let me call highway, those types of things, just to sort of keep us accountable and hopefully keep things safe and go from there. So happy to take any questions. Just in terms of process for me right now, I know I saw an email from Don earlier, and I've been a little remiss in my own budget build out, as I'm also in charge of land use currently to build out a budget for those folks. So I'm going to continue to input that into this big spreadsheet that Nelson, the predecessor, has been working on to hopefully share it with you guys and sort of go from there. So.
And the big one is called the omnibus.
Yep, that's the one I got.
All the individuals.
Yeah.
So,
and funnel that your way and go from there. So.
And just so everybody knows, I don't think they've seen it before. So all of I sort of will buy it. All of the other departments, we saw their budget guidance that went out to department heads. We have 2 account codes that we're responsible for, our memberships and dues and the reserve fund. And I just missed that we need to submit those 2 to make sure they get in the omnibus budget. So there are only 2 lines, 1 line in each file, but those were submitted this afternoon. It was just something that
hey, you got a lot going on. I get it, and I appreciate it. Volunteers doing things for the town is also having a life at home.
And we looked at it and said department heads, and I'm going, this isn't department head, but at the same time, there's a budget responsibility coming from us. So.
Yeah, and certainly if you see any training opportunity for any new members, I always encourage that. I think that's a great resource.
Mm-hmm. Right, and again, we have a lot of new members. This group is 50% new as of last year.
Great.
And Kathy is brand new this year. She replaced the opening we had. So
yeah, let's look forward to working together, and again, happy to take any questions or let you guys do your meeting, and I'll hang and see what I can help contribute to.
Well, there was one that Dave sent in and that I noticed, but I hadn't done anything with it yet.
Sure.
I think it was mostly the library, and multiple, and they submitted PDFs instead of the Excel spreadsheets.
So I'm probably going to break that down into the line items on the omnibus budget. And then my goal was to take every department that had done that and put it in there as department requested in its own column.
Mm-hmm.
And then ideally share it with you guys so you can sort of really see.
Well, that's the
nuts
thing,
and
it's
bolts.
kind of like, because percentages, when they're in a PDF file, you can't double check formulas and things like that and take a look at it. You've got to do those things. So
It wasn't just the library. There are a couple other them came through as
Okay.
PDF.
There's a couple like flag committee. I know they just said, hey, we're $1,500 and they just wrote it on the thing. So I'm just like, all right.
Well, yeah, that one, I don't remember the specifics, but it seemed like there were a few departments that
Yeah.
just put in PDFs as opposed to the spreadsheet.
Some folks like to sign their budget submissions. I'll work my way through those for you and hopefully clean it up so you can print out sheets or look at them on your computer and go from there.
Mhm.
Have all the budgets been received?
They have not. So there's a couple of departments, meeting with a few department heads tomorrow to circle the wagons, if you will. So,
Did we get any done? I know didn't we get the town clerk one?
We got the town clerk ones, we have the assessors. Sabrina had sent the majority of them. I thought I had forwarded that.
Yeah, you said like 24 files. Yeah.
And
Did you go?
And there was a,
I saw Harrison's, but I didn't see anybody else.
yeah, he sent an email
that
that,
email, they were all in that attachment from Sabrina. There's like
Hey,
24 of them.
you might have seen an email and it
It's
only
embedded
showed
in
like
forwarded.
one or two, and then there was a little thing that said show all files. And then when you open that up, there was 24 files.
From who? From
it
Sabrina?
was from me. Sabrina sent it to me,
Don, yeah.
and then I forwarded it out.
Forwarded it
I
out.
forwarded out to everybody.
But when you,
Was Harrison's in it? Was
Okay.
Harrison's the first one?
Well, Harrison had forwarded it to us.
I mean, when you open up your email, is Harrison's the first 20 pages or something? I don't know if I
It
got
could be.
anybody else's.
yeah, there was, Harrison sent an earlier email with his files.
That was separate from him.
And then, but then when you forwarded that other file, there was like two things, and it was like, I think Harrison might have been at the beginning, but if you did, there was like a little tag underneath one of the file attachments that said, do you want to open all 24 or see all or something? And once you clicked on that, you saw all 24 files.
So of the 24, how many were department head files? Saying
all
Vicky?
24.
Oh, all 24 was
Yes, ma'am.
separate.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so 24 department heads sent in there.
It's 24 different budgets. Like
20.
Harrison has 3 from the town.
Oh,
clerk's
gotcha.
office,
Yeah.
5. I think he only had 3
24
attachments, but
No, I think he had he had more, because he had parking clerk,
He's got 5
yeah,
years.
burial agent, parking clerk.
Yeah, those are like.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these
Yeah,
little
yeah,
baby
those
ones,
are
but,
but
I know, but he had like all he
Did you
had
get
several.
recreation?
The registrars.
recreation was in there.
Was in there,
Yeah,
okay.
cemetery and park. I mean,
Treasurer.
I can follow up with Don to.
Oh, yeah,
I'll check
I didn't
my
do
email.
a checklist of all the ones we expect and all the ones we received. That's probably a good double check to say, that we've got them in, so, we can do that.
When are we going to start meeting with the department heads?
I
I know Harrison wants to meet as soon as he can because he's gonna get busy on Tuesday nights, or he is
Mhm.
busy.
Okay, yeah, so we can, I believe, process-wise, they wanted to give the opportunity to review them, with the town administrator before we start, to see if they're recommending any changes to them that we
I thought
did.
we always started with, FinCom always started with them separately.
We
You know,
have always,
simultaneously.
we do the joint meetings through February, so that's
Yeah,
on
but
the schedule.
at one point, didn't the FinCom meet with department head? I remember coming to
Yes, we
meetings
did.
Okay.
when I was the department head.
right.
It was just FinCom and me.
Right, and we had done that because the town clerk budgets were first in, so I, just, recognize,
Because I think it's in my opinion,
Yeah.
it's better for FinCom to meet with the department heads separately
Right.
than to do it all together, so that we can form our opinions on our own.
It's more productive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So I know last year was really chaotic, and so the only thing that I have to go on is the budget policy document that FinCom and the select board both went to. And the second paragraph is joint meetings between the finance committee and the select board in February. And the Collins Center is the one who put that recommendation together, which was then adopted by the select board based on our bylaws and our charter and all the roles of the FinCom and select board.
What does it say?
Truthfully,
It's in that policy, it's like the second paragraph in the policy document, and it's linked off your guys' website too, as the policy. for the budget.
Yeah, it's linked to the same document, that's the idea of it, to keep it.
Right. But this policy also says the process begins in early fall, early to mid fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are we picking and choosing how we're doing this, or?
I can honestly say that I've done it both ways. I thought the most productive one is when we met with the individual, department head. We got to talk more, we got to ask more
Oh, that
questions.
was very helpful, yeah.
Well, and I think last year, it was the introduction of, the three new members last year. So there was a lot of good interaction with the department heads at that point. They were longer meetings. We had lots of questions and lots of answers from them. And I think there was
It was very informative, I thought. I mean, for the goal, and I just want to repeat what I believe this is, that we're supposed to be the watchdog, and we're supposed to recommend based on the information that we're given by the heads. Am I on that right page there with everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
and I understand meeting with the selectmen
Yeah, well, right.
in February, that's fine, but I think before then, we should be forming our own,
Opinions.
yeah, so that we can bring it to the table and they can say, we want to do this. Well, we looked it over and we thought this would be better so that there's a little more back and forth.
Okay, I was gonna say, and if we can come up with a couple of examples, on the select board budget is a line for the office supplies.
Mhm.
So this is the first year we've had the two new, the click charge, on the new printers or copiers, whatever you want to
Okay.
call them. And so a little bit more deeper background on that, the contract and how we're progressing with it. And how the dollars are matching. Are we under, are we where we expected to on the budget, or we're gonna have to adjust? How's,
Yeah, I can
There's a
say,
lot of detail
on my
on-
7th day here, I am not paying attention to the copier, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right, it's a good,
your best friend?
Yeah. But just to be point
yeah,
blank.
no,
you know?
but that's the thing, it's kind of like, I think it goes to our conversations of what are our questions gonna be? You don't wanna come into a meeting, you get hit with that cold. It kind of, if we can come up with that list of questions, beforehand and get them out.
So then do you delegate a member of each, of your group to opine on
we have
fire
this,
or police? So you each sort of huddle up on one and go
No,
from
we
there?
didn't do that last year.
we didn't do that last year, but that's something that has,
Has been done in the past. So.
it's been done in the past, and I think very similar to what the select board does, and have liaisons to each of the department heads,
Mhm.
that we should give, take them, we've got 7 members, divide them up, and let people take them and be the interface, and if there's questions, meet with the department heads.
Does that mean department heads are reporting to a town administrator, a select board, and a FinCom?
Not reporting to us,
But like
the questions with the
dotted line?
budget. In a way, if we're approving it, recommending their budget and we have questions about it, I'm sure it would be a lot better to have
Just,
the questions.
In my short time here, I'm trying to
Yep.
reduce confusion.
Mhm.
And I think for some department heads, that might be a little bit confusing.
it's not gonna happen.
I know. I'm working on it though.
Thank you, it's kind of like,
I like that, I like that humor, though. That's good for me, I need that.
I have a question about
You've gone astray.
Valerie's
okay,
point.
thank you, Dave's reminded me where we may be off the agenda, I was thinking it was
Okay.
lots of discussion about the budget, but, we,
Are you putting us on point of order, or are you bringing us back on
Yes.
the floor?
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
so, all right,
Thank you.
I gotta break out for a minute. I have a question about Valerie's point that she brought up earlier, about the meetings with the selectmen. So Valerie, is it the third paragraph where it says during the board's 2 regularly scheduled meetings in February, joint budget hearings are held with the finance committee. The board of selectmen deliberates and directs the town administrator to make changes, etc. Okay, so we only really need 2 meetings, correct?
I mean, that's a, again, I'm just trying to put a little bit like, not as much chaos as last year. And that's the only document we really had that sets the process up in its entirety. So that's what it says.
So it's 2 meetings,
It says 2 meetings.
okay.
And I mean, I do remember from my time in the library trustees being assigned, coming with Stacy to a joint meeting with the select board and FinCom. And then I still remember painfully Andrea Wood pulling me aside a couple weeks later to go through elements of the library budget. Now that was after that. And because I think the FinCom was working on their recommendations after those meetings. But that's just what happened in the past. That's my experience.
Well,
And I'm not saying that's what we need to do, but that's the policy that we have. That's
Well, 2 meetings is 2 meetings, that's not bad.
and I understand that, but it says here additionally elected officials shall submit to the town administrator, board of selectmen, and the finance committee a proposed budget. So, and then the finance committee deliberates and prepares a report to town meeting. So, shouldn't we be doing that?
That's what the policy
that would
says.
be the recommendations.
that's
to
the
report.
recommendation sheet that we do.
Right, but we need to have recommendations that we come up with.
Mhm,
And that would be based on the final budget though.
correct.
And
And the final,
that's,
and is the final budget gonna meet the requirements in the document for when it's ready?
I would hope so. That's our plan.
Yeah, final budget also says don't use free cash to balance your budget.
Oh, yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
we all
Is
agree with
that
that.
a novel idea?
Oh,
Just saying, that's how I'm gonna balance your budget, but.
Well, be careful of the stuff that gets misplaced, lost, and not available, and then comes back. That's bad. So, I have a question for you, Karen. Could you give us like a snapshot view of how Dunstable runs it, their finance committee? And I just think it would be good for us to have information from another municipality.
Yeah, so Dunstable just is probably about 3,800-ish people, so much smaller than Townsend, much less commercial space and things like that. So just thinking of that, if you've probably driven on 113, it's just police traps after police traps on 113. But their process is each department head reports to the town administrator. The town administrator inputs the numbers into the budget, and then he will present it to a joint meeting of the select board and the FinCom and say, here, and we just did this a couple nights ago, so you can watch it online. And he said, these are what the departments are requesting, and here's where we're short. And in that town, like the school budget's growing at almost 8.5%.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're short around $700,000 right now. And this is after passing an override last year. So, you know, in terms of dicing it up after the fact, the select board's going to sit with the town administrator during our regularly scheduled meetings and say, you know, where can you cut some corners? Does the highway really need a 14% increase in the paving budget? That's a question we have to ask.
So you get to those kinds of questions.
We do, that granular. So
Yeah,
the town administrator will point out, you know, like our insurance increase is about 11% for town insurance. You know, police is looking at about 11% increase because they're trying to add back another officer that wasn't rehired. Our school budget's growing tremendously, but they're also attached to wage increases for the teachers and the different unions there. So the select board will debate, and the TA will make recommendations based on conversations he may be having with other regional department heads. And then the FinCom Advisory Board will do the same thing. And then the goal is get to a point where the select board brings forward a budget that's been both approved by the FinCom Advisory Board. It's supported by the regional school district. And in general, we will have had what I call like the punching bag sessions, where I stand up in front of the town and say, tell me what you don't like and help me understand why. Because we have found that the public engagement forum, good, bad, and ugly, is fruitful and it provides transparency to everybody in town.
So that's before the annual town meeting?
Yep, so our annual town meeting is typically the first or second Tuesday in May.
That's gonna be a problem.
Hmm.
We're the first Tuesday in May.
So I'll just have it shift the schedule. So there's a little gray area there. So.
Okay, okay, there isn't for us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But, and we actually try to attach our timing to the same timing as Groton because of the regional
Because
school
of the
district.
school, yeah.
And we don't want one town to pass it and one to fail it, which
Right.
actually has happened numerous times now, causing a failure of the school budget.
You just have a two-town
Yes, sir.
school district?
Yeah.
So we have three, so therefore,
If 2 out of 3 towns pass it, then it
then
carries.
everybody goes.
Right. And is
You're in.
Dunstable part of Neshoba Tech?
Greater Lowell Tech.
Or Lowell Tech?
Yep.
Okay,
So actually that increase this year is close to $108,000 for only like 4 students.
You go to,
I can't go to the show.
Groton goes to Neshoba.
No,
Groton does.
but Dunstable.
Oh,
does.
Dunstable does not.
Correct.
That's why.
But it's like Ashby goes to Montague.
Right.
So will you have a question and answer
exactly.
period with the residents prior to the town meeting?
Correct. And, part of our the charge for our town administrator is you go have lunch with the seniors, ask them questions, bring forth the agenda, or bring forth the budget and such.
So you really get involved with your department heads?
Not with our
TA.
department heads, our
Yeah.
TA. The TA is the champion of the budget.
Okay.
They build
Okay.
it. They're responsible for it. So if anything's wrong, I get the point at the TA.
Mhm.
It's also a saving grace.
So, but the information comes from the department heads, no, from the TA
The
only?
TA works with the department head, so he'll work with police and say, all right, I need a 9th officer. Okay, why?
Mhm.
And, here's what it looks like in the budget. So the department head reports directly to the TA.
See, those of us who are new did not have that experience last year with Nelson.
No,
I mean, right?
wait, well,
That was
later,
not the experience last
yeah, no,
Yeah,
wait,
not even
later,
close.
later on in it, the budget wasn't firmed up.
We had no budget.
We didn't have a firm budget that we could make a recommendation on going into town meeting.
Right.
It's kind of like, because
I knew we were
everything
on
was
that
contingent.
bottom.
Sure.
Okay, so that won't happen again.
If I can close my door and have no one knock on it for like 2
wow,
hours.
Sorry.
I'll always welcome your knock, but if, I said this to Valerie, I was like, I'm gonna take Friday and just black out the day so I can just input the numbers. Cause I have an idea of where your shortfalls are gonna come in budget-wise.
Mhm.
But I don't have a recommendation yet in terms of where I would go. But I can sort of see some numbers that are coming in already that aren't gonna pass muster.
Okay,
I have a question. Your budget is related to your income? Yes or no?
My personal.
budget for the
town.
I assume your home budget is, yes, created to related to your income, but the town has the same problem. We can only spend what we can make.
Well, technically, yeah, you shouldn't spend any more than 2.5%, because that's what the tax levy is.
Right.
but we still don't
And
know
that,
what
but
the income
when do we
was.
know that number?
So free cash, we were put at the bottom of the pile due to a budget error back in the fall.
Uh-huh.
So our CBIZ, Elizabeth, is the representative that works with us. She's our town accountant. She is pushing that office for the free cash cert.
DOR, it's,
We just don't have it yet.
there's 114 towns in the state that don't have free cash certification yet, and we're on that list.
I can
Okay,
push
that's
them.
the free cash. What about what's
We're
coming
really-
in?
Yeah,
What might be expected from
Right, so-
Yeah,
state?
so for the recap revenue sheet, yeah, I've been working on that. Nelson left me with his footprint,
Uh-huh.
his sort of way he would do it. I'm gonna take what he has, I'm gonna bump it up against a couple other town managers and town administrators I know.
Well, the reason
And
that
understand
I
it better.
Yeah, so
don't care about the free cash is because that's not supposed to be touched to balance the budget.
Correct.
There are other things we use that money for besides trying to balance the budget, theoretically. So, in other words, but all those cash pieces whether it's the food tax or you know, the land,
Local receipts,
the real estate tax or whatever, we have an approximation. Sometime late in the season here, the state will come through and say, we're gonna give you this much money. There should be a way to calculate approximately what that might be. You know, you don't know what it's gonna be because it changes every year depending on how the legislature feels, if they happen to wanna go to work at all. And these numbers, we should be able to get together to find out what the budget needs to be at the end.
So I think it's really neat, the FY '26 recap sheet. Where are, you know, we're 6 months in, where are we in relation to the revenue estimates that we put into the FY '26 recap sheet?
I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm not saying these, but these are the sorts of things
That
that
you need for your,
the information we'll be
We
looking
didn't have
for.
that last year.
We didn't have that last year, but
No.
it also, when we get the, free cash certification, the numbers for the FY '25, that would be historical if we had that to see what the recap sheet was in there, FY '25, and what the revenues are that we posted to get the certification. So will we, you know, how close are we to accurate? Because you're doing some estimates on the, not necessarily the real estate revenue, but the other revenue that's coming in from the town, the excise taxes and all those things.
Yep.
As well as fees and that. So a statement of all the revenues of where we were for FY '25, how close were we at doing it?
and what the variance level was based on
Yeah,
projections.
based on
accuracy,
projections.
and how
It's kind of like, because the other one is the real estate growth potential. It's kind of like, are we estimating low all the time, or are we estimating high? Do we need to adjust what our estimate is? That sort of thing. So it's kind of like just trying to get better with the pieces. The other, as you know, with the FY '26, we cut a lot of money out of the budget, and there's some lines that are not necessarily in line with where you expect them to be. They're over 50% now. They're closer to 75%. So as we do those adjustments, we need to look at them. We're probably not going to have a large free cash coming out of FY '26 to pay the highway snow and ice account. So those are the sorts of things that I think are going to catch our attention this year. And I know we don't have the solid numbers until about 6 months after the close of the year, but we need to be making better numbers and estimates, putting it in there, because we're not going to have those larger amounts. Or if we have a larger amount in free cash, put it somewhere so that we can use it to go down a year and pay snow and ice in the following year. Something like that. So still really the first time we're hitting these, but
Sure.
It's these were tighter. I know in some towns they use free cash, they over budget, so that there is free cash, that they can have a free cash policy and go out and say X% goes to
Stabilization, some goes to offset budget, never to exceed X, Y, Z.
Or, capital budget, capital. So those are the things. That's an area where we're maybe lacking a little bit. That would be something to get a little more solid on.
Yeah, and certainly, you have some great policies, sort of work within the confines of the policies to hopefully have it be as fruitful as possible. So.
So anyway,
Ron, are you saying that's a good strategy? About the free cash?
It's a strategy. I'm not saying that it would be nice if we could do it, but how are we going to squeeze something like that into a budget this year?
We're not gonna do that. I don't see any way
Because-
we're gonna have room for that this year.
No, but if you had something like that and put it into a stabilization fund, and if anybody's looked at the back of the building on the way in, I'm starting to see some peeling and chipping and those things. So there could be a big bill coming in.
Yeah.
That we're not necessarily ready for, but if we had a policy on, instead of coming up and doing a big override to do big repairs, if there was enough money always being put away into the stabilization, you could transfer it out of stabilization and use that rather than having to do an override to come up with extra money.
You could even use it to offset it. So if your
Mhm.
number was 500K and you had 150 in stabilization, you authorize 150 out of stabilization, so then the number's only 350.
Right.
You get excluded over a 20-year bond,
Mhm.
decreases the taxes by $4 a tax bill,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's small, and hopefully that's affordable, but every family has their own decisions. to
Right,
make, so.
they are, and it's kind of like, but that would, potentially be something that we could look at. But again, we don't know. I haven't seen the school numbers yet either, so.
Yeah, the last school number I had seen was about 4.65%. And the Nelson's budget, previous town administrator's budget,
Mhm.
was holding about 3%.
Yeah.
So for every 1% equals about $150,000 on the school.
Mm.
So that means you're short about 200K or so.
Yeah, right, right, and adding in the free cash that we used to support the school last year is, about 400,000.
Mhm.
It's kind of. Okay, lots of talk on policy.
I'll hang with you guys if you want, or you can tell me to get out of the room.
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty
no.
easy going, so.
We'd love you to stay if you're willing to stay.
Yeah, I think it helps, and I can take some punches, so if you got any good questions, I'm ready to take them.
Yeah, it's not that, we don't expect you to have the answers after 7 days, it's kind of like,
As long as I can have like one answer.
Yeah. What are the office hours? Moving on, I did say review the minutes, but I didn't send them out. I don't know if I got, did you?
We
send
got
it
a
back?
couple of minutes, I saw the headlines.
But you said you fixed it. So you sent me the file.
I sent a file to show you what I thought. I didn't make, we're secretary, I wanted to.
Oh, well,
you-
I made the changes, but I just
Okay,
say,
so we'll move past.
you want me to send it back to you?
Yeah, send it back.
Okay.
It's kind of like
Okay.
your copy
Okay.
will be the master. And
Okay.
So we're gonna do this next month?
we're gonna do
Next
next
meeting.
meeting. Yeah, it's kind
We
of,
have to make a motion, I think, formal.
yeah,
No.
Carol does send them to me just as a review, and I had just two minor,
Thanks, and I did fix them, so I'll send it back to you.
so we'll get that out.
Oh, trash program.
Trash.
The trash program and tonnage,
So,
I had sent the report, I didn't necessarily see it in my inbox, but they forwarded it to us.
Yeah,
and then I sent it
unfortunately,
out.
that one does not have December. That just has up through November.
Okay, I wasn't really sure how to read.
It's not,
Okay,
unfortunately,
let me,
unfortunately, unfortunately, it's not organized the way I would like it to be.
So the only thing I have a question on the trash is, we gave them $160,000 from the
Mhm.
stabilization fund to
Yeah.
start the program.
Right.
So how are they gonna make up that $160,000 for the next
So,
fiscal year?
my view was,
And I couldn't tell from.
yeah,
okay, that's, no, this is strictly FY 26s.
right, so my view was, in order for the program to say that it was positive for the year, it has to end June with 160,000, right? Because that means we started with 160. If it spends what it takes in, it should end with 160. Okay.
And I'm gonna rebut that a little bit,
Yeah, I'm
because the
not sure.
160 was to get them as a kickstart for the first 2 months.
Right.
Everybody in town was still on trash pickup for July and August
Right.
at the end. The 160 was to give the Board of Health the time to get going, to get the program started for.
So you're saying you don't believe that the program should end necessarily with 160, that if it ends with a
Right,
little less,
that's what I agree.
we may still be okay?
As long as it's
Yeah.
above zero.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So in that file, there were some lines that showed a projection out for the rest of the year where they projected how much we were gonna spend and how much we were gonna take in through how much we were gonna spend on trash and how much we were gonna take in on the bags. And that projection got to the end of June saying there would be 120,000 123,000 or so
Right.
left in the fund at the end of
Then that's
June.
positive.
So
That's
Really?
positive. I guess I was thinking that we
Yeah.
wanted it to be 160,
Okay, so it's like
because then it would be truly
127.
self-sustained.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's only a 10-month year this year,
Yeah,
because that
Yeah.
160
Right.
was to get the kickstart, as Don just said, the first 2 months of the year,
how much of that one?
Right, but the bag funds that came in June and July went into the fund.
Okay,
And so those bag funds kind of
help buoy it.
helped pay for June and July.
right, and
I kind of think the 160, I would think, I mean, if we end up positive, we end up positive, that's
Right.
good. I'm
Yeah.
talking more towards when we project, what are we gonna do for next year?
Mhm.
Right? I'm saying that if we don't track to having 160 at the end of June for the start of next year, we're gonna need to raise some fees somewhere. Either increase the membership fee or increase the bag fee.
so
Yeah, and I think they're gonna review that.
they're gonna review it.
They're
and
supposed to review that, and I think in March is when the plan is to
Mhm.
set
That's what they said.
what we're gonna set the
Well,
new
Well, then
thing.
you'll have 6 months of true numbers.
You will have 6 months of true numbers, we'll see the tonnage, and they're in the preparation because that's an enterprise fund, as well as their budgets they've already
So,
submitted.
in this report, unfortunately, the numbers, you'll see the numbers for the trash costs are a little bit variable in the 3 months that are in there. And that's because the tonnage numbers are included in that one line.
Right.
I kind of would rather see the tonnage, each tonnage on its own
Yeah,
line,
that was how it's
and
gonna
then the
be.
one line for the trash fee be the constant, which is the
Yes,
monthly
yeah,
fee.
that's what we were told.
So,
Unfortunately, it's not broken out like that in that spreadsheet.
No.
Can we
Because
ask it
this,
to be that way?
I did ask it to be that way. I mean, it would take, it's gonna take more work to do that. Because,
two reports, this is coming from the treasurer, and so she's doing it strictly out of the system and the accounts that they're doing.
right, and
The actual tonnage reports are coming into Board of Health, and they're submitting them to get paid out of the particular accounts. So the numbers we're looking for are in the Board of Health,
Yeah,
so that we can separate out the monthly bill.
because doesn't Carla submit the bills every month for
She-
the regular fee plus the tonnage?
right,
The
she's,
tonnage comes in separate from the regular, because.
well, no, the bill, I think, is submitted together. If you look at the pages that if you look at
Because
the
if we
pages that
just
they gave
even
us,
had the bill,
what's that?
if we just had each
Right.
bill,
Well, we
we'd be
do.
able to tell.
We do, but, if you just look at the bill, though, you really can't, I mean, you can't tell the difference between the garbage tonnage and the recycled tonnage.
Right.
They did break it down on the sheets that they
Oh,
gave us.
okay.
They
Okay,
did
so-
break it down eventually. It's just, you had to dig through and know what you were looking
Okay,
for and
so
find it.
Yeah, they are watching.
Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure.
Was the article written as such that they get a loan, or
No.
this is a
No, this was,
non-reimbursable?
Exactly,
Right.
yeah,
this was,
So with no expectation that money goes back into stabilization?
Right.
correct.
So are you saying that if it came in at 140, that we are actually lost, we're below the,
Well, yeah, I'm kind of, my position is if we come in at, say, 140,
we're below?
that means we've lost 20,000 over
Right.
the year.
But what did we pay for the first 2 months?
right. And
We paid trash and tonnage fees, and we also collected bag fees.
Right, but
So-
the
so-
trash and tonnage fee should be much in excess of bag fees.
I'd have to look at the numbers,
Yeah.
but they're both, all I'm saying is they're both in there.
Right.
So I don't think it's too unreasonable to say at the end of the year, it ought to balance out.
I think you're
Right.
right.
I don't think it's
I don't think it
unreasonable
should
at all.
balance out. I think it should be less.
I do too.
But what, how much?
Because of the 2 months?
That's, I don't know,
Because
that I don't have the answer
covered the
for.
cost of the 2 months.
If we
I'm
knew
saying-
that number, that would be helpful.
We're-
If we're gonna go with it's not gonna be 160, it's gonna be something less. We really should know what the foundation of that less is.
But
We'll have to-
whatever they have at the
Right.
end of the year will be in excess of what they're going to start collecting in July as far as the fees and the bag fees.
Mhm.
So it'll
Well,
be in
the-
excess, and hopefully the bag fees and the the sticker fees will
Well,
cover the
and-
cost.
Well, the sticker fees are gonna be collected before July.
Right,
They,
Right.
Yeah, but it will be for
for the July
fiscal year
first.
27.
Right, but that money is gonna go into the fund when they collect it. It's not
It's an
gonna sit
enterprise
somewhere
fund,
else.
So, right,
Right.
it's gonna
Oh.
look like FY 27 revenue, but it's gonna come in during FY 26. It's going into the enterprise fund. So you have to, if you're using those numbers for that, and I think we were up around 2,200 participants in the program.
Yeah, I think,
So,
I think that's.
Yeah, the program participation, I think, has been better than they
And it is,
planned
yeah.
for.
Right, and tonnage has been below estimates.
I thought it was right around,
What is
A
it
little
coming
above.
in, what is it coming in as?
I'll get the numbers from.
and certainly in December, in December and
Gonna have more.
January, there's gonna be
December
a
and
spike.
January, I expect the tonnage figures to go up.
Yeah,
But
Oh,
that,
yeah.
you know, it's kind of like there'll be more recycling and there will be more trash too, which will be offset by the bags. But the bag revenue has been pretty steady at around the 35,000.
But is
So,
it covering the fees?
the fees have pretty much dried up because everybody has their sticker. I did ask the question if they're gonna offer a half-year sticker, so that if somebody wanted to sign up now, they could have, basically pay half price and get from now until the end of June in the current fiscal year. You know, trying to get a little bit more revenue if we could and get some, additional people in. We do have people that move into town, so they may want to join, and rather than charging them a full year, like a half year sticker was my suggestion. So I don't-
did
I'd have to
they
go back.
respond to that?
They said they were considering it, but I haven't heard a final result yet, so.
That's actually a really good idea, Don.
Mm,
Because that kind of that's a little incentive for people to join now rather than waiting
mhm, right.
to
And
join
so
for
you're
July
guessing where
first.
you-
Well, the other side of the coin is,
How do they
if
get
I
the
sell my
trash
house,
How do you keep?
my
Well,
sticker goes with the house.
just-
But that's the thing, if you're new to town and you don't necessarily know about the program.
Yeah.
This is,
Or if you've been
The
doing
welcome.
private and you decide you want to change.
right,
But you're right, doesn't the sticker go with the house?
Sticker goes with the house.
No, it goes to
no,
the
it goes
trash.
to the,
It's
Well,
people,
yeah,
well,
which
some
belongs to
people
the
have
house.
it on their
Well, I
mailbox,
don't
some
know.
people have it
What
on
if you're
their
moving in
trash
town? You
container.
can move your trash, oh, it's addressed.
My trash can is
it's
historic.
addressed it and.
I would think it would go with the
It's kind of like when you
But
get
if I
the,
was gonna move to, say, Tinley Park, which I'm not,
You are?
Well, you could,
Oh.
you
And I
could come
take my
to my
trash-
neighbor.
can with me. I plop it on
If
17.
you're moving within town, yes, there would be no difference because you've already paid for the sticker at the address you're at and you're taking it with you.
Yeah,
The person moving into where you are would have to buy a sticker because you took yours with you.
I'm
it's
not
not-
sure that
it's-
that's the way it should be. Because it's like the bins,
Mhm.
when
When you serialize bins,
it goes
it
with that
goes with the
address, it
address.
stays with that
It's
address,
kind
Oh,
of like,
really?
yes.
yeah, I'm gonna,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
if,
The address owns the bin,
Right.
not,
and they were issued by.
Even if it's your bin that you pay for?
No, this is towns that have bin programs and they supply the bins.
bin
Bin
programs.
Oh.
That's- Yeah.
So
So
if
that-
it's supplied
that's
by
the
the
difference.
town, it stays with the address.
Yeah, with the
Mhm.
address.
So I would,
So it's
and I
a question to
understand you
ask.
pay for the sticker, but I
Mhm.
would think that if I was moving, it would just stay.
If you move in town, why not,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Take your barrel with you.
I don't know that they set a
I-
policy on that.
I
Yeah,
think so.
exactly, but
So-
that's one of
That
those
might be
things.
something
that's-
that they should think about.
Right.
Are they
Yep.
gonna change colors for the next fiscal year?
That's under
Oh.
consideration, and yes,
Because how would you,
Know the difference.
I mean,
Right.
some
Yeah.
people have this yellow sticker on their mailbox,
It's like
I
your
mean, or on the
license
trash
plate.
can, but so if they don't change the color or do something different, how is Shaw's gonna know whether you pay, you know, you pay
Right.
or
That's a
not?
thought.
It's like your license plate, you know, put that little
Oh, yeah, the
thing,
little,
different color every year,
right.
blue, green, yellow.
like Shaw's is gonna see that little.
No, it would have to be, it probably at least half the size of the existing.
So at this point, is the enterprise, is the Board of Health making money on trash pickup and the whole 9 yards? Are we making money or are we losing
How much
money?
is left?
Well, it's hard to-
Is that
Can
what
we
you're
get what,
asking?
yeah,
That's a hard
it isn't hard.
It's a hard question to answer because the money, when the trash bag money that comes in the month after the trash bags are sold, right? So all the bags that were sold in September,
Right,
we got the money for that in October,
right.
Okay, all right.
okay?
So but now we're in.
The opposite of your phone bill.
What's that?
It's the opposite of your phone bill.
Yeah,
You pay
right.
for Verizon.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Can you get a feel for it? I mean.
yeah, the feel, from when I looked at this, the feel that I got for it is that we're close. It's close, because like in October, we got more money than we spent. In November, I think it was, we spent a little more than we got. And then we don't have December.
Gotcha, okay.
We don't have anything past really those two.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
You see what I mean? So it's kind of, I don't think we have enough to draw any kind of interim
And again,
conclusion from.
Right.
No.
So we continue to watch it. This was the data collection year and watching it. And again, the revenue for the stickers was all in the July, August, September timeframe. So that revenue, we then had a little bit in there to start, and you're dipping into that. So if
Right.
it's 60,000 a month, 58 for the contract and a couple of thousand, and I know it's more than that. I was just trying to do easy math. And we're only getting 35,000 in bag sales. Well, we're dipping into the
Right.
sticker fees to help balance.
To balance it out, right. I mean,
mean. So, ultimately, it is, working well. Is this?
I mean, I think it is working at this point, and from the projections, they kind of, I think they basically averaged out the 2 months and put that forward as projections for the rest of the year. And if that holds or doesn't vary too much, the fund will end the year in a positive number, not a negative number. So that part is good. It may not be as positive as I would like it, okay? And if my position is valid, that I want to see 160 in there at the end of the year, and it comes out to the projection of 123, that says we're like 40,000 short. I did a quick calculation. If the sticker fee went from 125 to 150, that would make up that shortfall.
Would we still have to pay for the bag?
Okay. Then, yeah, the bag, I'm saying you don't change the bag fee.
But
The sticker goes from 125 to 150.
But when you think about it, that sticker was only good for 10 months.
Right.
But
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah,
Again,
So
yeah.
150 isn't any more than what we paid for last year, if you break it up.
If you break it out, yeah.
Right.
It's
okay.
1250 a month,
Remember,
and then you're at,
we're gonna be talking to the taxpayer, and you've got a little bit coming out of Board of Health, you got a little bit coming out of water, you've got the CPA now, you've got the potential override. I mean,
It all adds up.
that's a lot of
Ooh.
add-ons. I feel like I'm in a restaurant.
Right, well, I mean, I'm just saying,
No, well,
Yeah. No.
that, I think that's, that, and I think in March, we'll have December and January, and I think we're really gonna have to wait until we get the February numbers too, to see what the drop-off is from, because to me, I think December and January are gonna be a peak. And so February
Could be a drop.
should be a drop-off from December and January, and that should be closer to the average for the rest of the year. And so I would think that from those numbers, hopefully now we can update the projection, see where we wind up, and decide because at that point, I think is we have to decide what the fees are gonna be set to. Do we need to increase, decrease, or whatever? I don't see any way that we're ever gonna decrease any of the fees, because as the person, when we were dealing with the whole trash issue last year, as she said, you're not gonna open any new landfills, so costs are gonna do nothing but go up.
Right.
So there's no way we're gonna lower any of the fees, the bags or the sticker fee. That's never going down. It's only a question of how slowly will it move up on us.
Right.
It's so pessimistic.
Well, no.
Well, no,
No, it's realistic.
No.
I mean, if we can get the governor to let us open a landfill, then maybe we can bring the number down.
I think she's.
What do you think our chances of that are?
Put her in the first.
Aren't they closing all the landfills in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
and Shipping it to Alabama or
Right,
someplace
right, that's what
or
I'm-
other?
that's what I'm saying.
I think it's Midwest right
I
now.
like your point about the viability of, I mean, even if it's not a reimbursable 160K, that always has to be factored into the plan and the growth Because at some point it has to net out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's otherwise, like, what's your ROI?
Right.
Mhm.
I know that a municipality is not a corporation, but like,
No, but that's,
It still needs to
But
run
that-
that way because we're
Right. I mean,
limited to
the
a certain
the
amount of
goal-
dollars coming into
the-
our area.
Right, the goal is that we always wind up at zero, but that's not, you
An asterisk.
you can't do that, so
Yeah.
you've gotta put the base in there and say, okay, the goal is to always finish the year where we started it.
yeah.
right.
That makes sense. to me.
Well,
And-
you
and again,
skip
That
the
I
first
think
year.
important too, that it was really 150, what was it really?
125.
No, I understand that, but we got only 10 months. So it was
Right.
$12.50 a month.
Right,
Because
so
you add another 12.50 is.
25.
25,
So
you go to
25.
150 on the
Okay, so we
sticker.
went I see, so the true cost of the sticker was 150.
You
Will
could,
be.
You could make
Yeah.
that, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think if we decide we need to raise the sticker to 150,
It's a good
that would be
argument,
a
right?
good way to make the
It
argument.
always was 150, you just didn't know.
Right, that would be a good way to make the argument to maybe,
Well, I,
the town-
Less than the
Who
Yeah.
sets the rate?
what's that?
Who sets the rate? Board of Health.
The Board of
Board of
Health
Health is
does.
setting it, but because it's a fee, there's gonna be a public hearing, and it's co-sponsored by Board of Health and Finance Committee.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, I'd like to wait to see, but nonetheless,
Mhm.
I'd like to think that, for one thing, I think, before you think about raising the fee, whether it's 10 months or 12 months or whatever part of it you want to talk about, is to see what is left at the end of the period, even if you've got to project to the end of the, the year, and see whether or not that would be sufficient under the data that's available to get us through to the next year to finally figure out where the fee should go before you call the fee a 10-month or 12-month fee.
well, it's always from this point forward, it's always gonna be a 12.
Because we've already, as a town, donated 160,000 to get it started, so that takes care, that's part of what we were doing. And we want a lot of that left at the end of the year. He wanted 160, I would be acting anywhere around 100.
Raise the bar.
140.
That's before I tried to, tax the people anymore. I mean, you said a funny word a few minutes ago called an override. There's not gonna be an override in this town.
Okay, so
I didn't even look for
we're
a
having a
suggestion.
conversation, right now, I'm gonna bring it back. We're having a conversation about trash.
Mhm,
Trash is not part of the tax bill.
right,
It is not part of an override. It is an enterprise fund that
Yes.
has to fund itself going forward.
exactly.
It's kind of like, so the program, when Board of Health is preparing their budgets, they will also prepare one for the enterprise fund. And
Right.
they'll present that,
Right,
in the near future with the numbers they have.
Well, I don't think they're gonna present a plan for the next year until at least March. Late
I think I think we have to set the rates by March. Because I think what we're gonna do is in March, there'll be, let's see. I'll have to double check, because we have excise tax bills that go out at the end of February.
Right,
And that would be, that would be a way to stuff a mailer in there to remind everybody about.
right, but I don't think we're gonna have the fee for next year set by the end of February.
We'll see, we'll
I-
talk to Board of Health and get it, it's kind of like, and if they have, the projections and the numbers, and, they'll come to us with what,
Yeah, well, I mean, we definitely wanna try to
we
keep on
wanna
them and kind of ask them for
as early as possible.
ask them for, December's.
Yeah.
When do you
Right.
have December's numbers? Let us
Yeah.
have that. Let us get that updated.
I just had a question on enterprise funds.
Mhm.
So do they ever go in default, or they just raise fees enough to cover whatever shortfalls they?
Well, that has always been the Board of Selectmen's fear, that what do we do if that fund is not solvent? And so,
In this case, you would go to stabilization to bail it out.
Except when there's no more money there.
No,
Oh, well, is there?
we have about 1.1 million in stabilization, but
Okay,
But,
it was
A
the
bad
finance,
optical look, because you've already
But
done it once
if-
for that enterprise
yeah,
fund.
Right.
right.
How many
Yeah.
times do you go back to the dugout?
Right,
right.
It's not a good.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you have
and
to
when,
do
it's
that
not a good practice, so
program
we,
over.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
we
yeah,
wanna,
we have to start looking at alternatives to
because then you'll need startup money. for
Well, we
that.
already know what the alternative is,
Right, so,
That was just.
So
private trash
Oh,
pickup.
private trash. yeah.
so that's the piece, if,
I think,
if the
And I,
fund,
you know, I've never
Yeah.
been against it completely.
if,
I have.
yeah.
I know you haven't.
So if-
Very well.
With the enterprise fund, if you're watching it as close as we have been, because we've had several meetings with them and, you should be able to see a trend if it's going down and you're not getting bag sales and things, and it's not gonna support itself.
Well, yeah,
Then you have to end your contract with Shaw and tell everybody that they have to go to private pickup. That is the only option, and that's why you wanna keep an eye on it and manage it so that you're not getting to that point, so.
well, I think that's the good
And-
news, is that we do have a bar, is private pickup. So.
That's a
so
fallback,
one-
yeah.
But I mean, once your fees as a homeowner exceed the private pickup, which is like $40 or $45, that would be the green light,
Mhm.
buy enterprise, go private. I mean,
There is that, if the
Right.
enterprise keeps on going up.
but you gotta remember
well, yeah,
that,
I mean,
I
what's
bet
the
the
point?
private pickup fee is also gonna go up.
I understand that, Dave, but like,
There's,
well,
yeah.
It's never gonna
It-
be.
It's about
it-
convenience,
it's all-
like
yeah.
if you don't
Oh
have
my
to go get
God.
bags and you just have the bins dropped to your house, it's
Mhm.
about, it's a matter of like what your behavior is, like what's worth going to Hannaford's to grab bags every
Yeah.
couple of weeks, or just
At,
have the bin dropped to your
5
house
minutes to 9.
and spend an extra $10 a month doing it.
Right.
It's about,
It's a trade, it's trade-offs for people, and,
Yeah.
and,
It is
and those,
trade-off.
those are the pieces, but again, the enterprise fund does not appear that it's going that way, it's being.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
So
that,
kind
that
of-
it's,
so
I
don't
wouldn't
want
say
to-
that this year it's in danger of failing.
Oh,
No.
good, oh, good.
I wouldn't
No.
say that.
It's kind of like, and I wanna
I
make
would
sure
say
we
that
don't-
the enterprise fund is succeeding. It's just that we're gonna have to carefully look at next year to try to set the fee appropriately.
But I also think the Board of Health was very cognizant of that. I mean, I think they worked very well last year, getting all the facts before they,
Right, and the presentation was that they're gonna try to eliminate bag fees in the
Yeah.
future.
oh, yeah.
So that's,
There is no way
That-
that's gonna
that
happen.
didn't come out of my mouth.
I'm just saying that was-
No, I know that. I think that was a mistake. I think that was a mistake for him to say that.
Yes,
No,
very
don't
big
say
mistake.
that. That was a
So,
happy thing, yeah.
it's kind of like.
Yeah, but if you look at what the tonnage would end up being when you don't pay for bags, the tonnage would go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I do everything I can to just use one bag a week,
I
I'm
am
sorry.
telling
Oh, I
myself,
do. We
I'm
do
this
one
close
bag
to
every
going private.
other week.
Oh,
Again, I think there'd be
oh, you
limits
know what it's
on-
like to stand in
I
a
think
trash
it's
can and make it
limits on-
smaller? Don't try to pick up use two hands to pick up your purple bag when you come to our place,
Again,
and they know it.
Enterprise funds are actually also in the budget policy in one place, and it says each year the town administrator and town accountant shall jointly prepare and maintain a 5-year financial forecast for general fund and any enterprise fund expenditures. That
5-year
means a
forecast.
5-year
You're
forecast.
on it, right?
Was that produced by
5 years
Disney?
popular.
Dave,
But then we don't
What you
have
just read?
information for a 5-year forecast.
sounds like a good
It
idea.
sounds like a Disney thing.
He'll have that ready
We're
tomorrow,
good,
right?
we're good.
Oh, no hair left, be fully white.
This was Sandy Brown when we started saying a 5-year budget. I can't remember, I mean, that was so long ago.
I
I
think I
don't
was a
remember.
blonde when I walked in the door.
So was
I
I.
Sorry. we're gonna-
Yeah,
we're gonna-
this 5-year projection, I can't this room looked entirely different when they sat us down over here and showed us
Put those
color.
over your feet. Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
just
5-year projection, we have enough trouble with a 1-year
Okay.
projection.
bring it
We'll bring
back.
it back.
Any, yeah,
Okay,
any last
We'll wait
questions
for this.
on the trash? It's kind of like.
Okay, here.
I guess my only,
So we-
request to you is to email them tomorrow and ask them for December's numbers,
Seventeen fifty.
And
so
then-
that we can get that as soon as we can.
7 point
And then if when you get that, just email, if you can send it out to us.
plus 120.
That would be good.
That's $200 short of getting it $45 a month.
Yeah, I have it as $30 a month.
What is,
if you use one bag a week, you know,
Yeah, I just,
Okay.
think, you know,
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
let's go
we're
back
gonna-
on topic,
I
we
just-
don't get into.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's,
Moving-
yeah,
No,
5
moving
March,
on.
5
we'll be
weeks.
March.
14
Months.
Yeah.
For all
We're-
We're
12
going to
months.
constable.
we're going to,
Constable, yeah, we're at the
kind of like
Going on
what
our
we
what,
said.
eight of those months are only 4
Okay.
weeks.
We're back on the agenda.
Every
Yeah,
Okay.
quarter,
okay,
have a
point of
comment.
order,
point of order.
Okay, come on, thank you.
We're coming back.
We're being watched.
$210.
Okay, we're back to the constable.
Yeah, it's kind of like, was there any progress?
There you go,
I know you were busy.
Why do we put this off?
There were questions about, an elected position. I think that,
Kathy read, the warrant article, didn't we, Kathy, last time? And didn't
it was, yeah, it was,
it was to, not remake, what's the word? Rescind the
we
prior,
send a prior,
the vote on the current.
right, but there was a question about making it an elected position and how that would all go. So I got,
well, if it's not to do that, we need to do something so that constables are allowed again, because it's ridiculous what has to be paid, for a police officer at elections.
We have,
So I actually helped with that. I sat with the town clerk and, having a police officer is recommended for early voting and such. It's not required.
Right.
So he and I were able to sit together and, he was like, oh, I'll play around with the budget. He checked with a couple other town clerks. He said, oh, we actually won't have the police officer for early voting. So it did awesomely help his budget in
Yeah,
that sense.
but we used to have a constable for the elections
Correct, yeah,
and $210 a day
yeah.
versus $1,300. So why can't we have
our constable,
constables to be used at elections?
I don't know the answer to that question. I was just focused on saving money for something that's recommended versus required.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right, because yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
I talked to him about
So he's
that.
gonna have the constable for the early elections?
We never had.
no.
You don't
we-
have-
No,
don't
no,
have
no,
it.
no one,
We don't have a
okay,
We don't have anybody.
okay,
You just
No,
have, you just have 911 on
Oh.
download.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I know.
And the only one that I would really recommend to have anything at would be the presidential, because we have had issues before for early voting at the presidential.
Yeah, we should shut down early voting, but
Yeah, I agree, I agree.
Either
Still
show
start
up
to
or
see
don't
that.
show up. you know.
what's that?
And I think eventually we get back to more like a weekend or two of early voting, and then otherwise it's mail-in votes and.
I'd like to get rid of
Because
all of
the
it.
participation is
Show
not
up,
high
show
enough to
up.
justify,
Just
but
show
it's gonna
up
take
on
a
the
few
day.
iterations from
But-
our
Show up or
fearless
don't
leaders in the state house. to get
Uh-huh.
there, so.
So what are we gonna do about this constable event?
I would support having her come back or having a constable.
No, I think we've already taken a vote on that. We've
I know,
already
but,
decided-
so why are we,
What do we have to legally do to
So-
get
Yeah,
around?
that's the question.
Because the
How do
last
we
time
get-
she brought it up in town meeting,
And I was
this
shot
lawyer
down.
person stood up
Well,
there
okay.
and said all sorts of,
And I asked for, I did a public records request on his response. How many times did the constable get the town in trouble for arresting people? How many times did the constable violate? And there were no response. So the answer in my mind must be 0 because we didn't get anything. So I think we should bring it back up again.
but he, whatever,
But it doesn't matter what he says. If he can't put the evidence on the table, it doesn't exist.
I don't disagree with you, but this is a town meeting we're talking about. And you've got to have something to back up what, you know, to counter what he is saying has to be part of the presentation.
That would be my public records request.
Okay?
It came back with 0.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just for the election? I know nothing about a constable, so.
Well, the constables are used for people in the town to serve papers to other people. If Mary Jane rents for me and I want to get rid of her because she hasn't been paying the bill,
Okay.
then I would have her served and the constable would serve.
Okay.
You go to a sheriff, if you don't have a constable, you have, the sheriff office has to do it, and
Yeah.
they're like 6 weeks out.
Okay,
So anything that has to be done, like divorce or anything like that, is, you're looking, you know, a couple months down the road to have everything served. So it's to serve the people of the town. But it doesn't cost the town anything to have a constable,
unless you're paying for the election.
unless you pay them for the election.
Okay,
Or fee for service.
It's fee for service, yeah.
so do they like, are they armed? Like, I know nothing about.
No, they're not armed, they have a badge, and the way it's been here, if something, and we did have a moment where she had to call the police, and the police came.
Okay,
Because she went in to break up a fight.
yeah. Is it kind of like, I always think of like the security guards at the mall, who have those little
Sort of,
machines, kind of like on the segways?
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But she
she,
doesn't get
I
a
mean, she's
segue.
good because she watches for, people coming in with,
T-shirts and hats.
yeah,
The voting, yeah.
yeah, political
Okay,
statements on their clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
all right. But otherwise, I would know, like, I mean, I would be worried to send a constable to someone's house in the event that it was a unhappy situation.
Well, they don't go on domestic.
But she said they serve papers.
Well, that's,
Serve pay, oh, wow.
They serve papers, 'cause, yeah,
Yeah.
they serve papers, and sometimes it is difficult, but then they would call the police in,
Okay,
If they had to.
if they had to.
okay. I just worry about the liability of someone getting hurt.
Well, and they-
That was their job.
And then they-
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I go to
their job is
safety,
not-
like-
And the only one that for the last year and a half, I think, we only had one, and it was a female.
And so last year, the Board of Selectmen, before you, before you were involved, yeah, before you were involved, the Board of Selectmen, claiming some kind of legal reason, which escapes me at this point, decided they wanted to do away with the constable and use the police for the elections. And so they did that. And as a finance committee with the financial position of the town, we've kind of been pushing back on that, saying, we can't afford to spend all that extra money. Yeah, okay, if we have 2 elections, it's gonna be an extra $2,300 or whatever for a constable versus a police detail. But still, you've already said, we're a couple $100,000 in the hole. We can't just be spending $2,400 if we don't have to. And
$2,400 per election or for the next?
no,
two
for the
elections?
next 2, I
So it
think.
would be an extra $1,100
Per
per
unit,
per
election.
election.
1,200, okay, 24,
And so-
2,500 extra.
I
Yeah.
mean, the only thing is, I'm not taking a side here, I think
Yep.
town meeting voted not to bring it back.
Correct. Well,
Well, they
Wait
didn't
a
vote
minute.
to.
no, we didn't.
No, they didn't
No.
vote
No,
not to
they
bring
didn't.
it back. They
No
voted
vote.
not to take any action
Not to take any
on,
action.
on that.
Because of the.
Ambiguity brought up by that lawyer.
Ambiguity, thank you very much, yeah, right.
Right.
So-
And so,
So you want us to go back on the warrant, is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, but what goes back on the warrant to do away with the acceptance of Mass General Law that they can appoint constables, which is a way we were thinking we could get around it.
Are they
Or to
appointing
bring
them?
it back, saying that we want constables, and I forget what the,
Does the police have to train constables?
No.
So it could just be me?
It-
Or do you have to be a
Well,
resident?
You have to,
You'd have to get
no,
a clearance.
I think it's a
Yeah,
certification.
yeah,
I just want to understand what you're asking.
Yeah,
for,
you
so I can
register with the
roll
state
this through
to
my
be a
head.
constable.
Yeah, there's credentials, I'm sure they have.
Yeah, and bond, you have
Like a fitness
to.
test. Like, you gotta be able to run and hand someone a piece of
Yeah.
paper.
no,
like,
but you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And you might have to know the law of service.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Criminal
that.
justice
I don't think
Yeah,
it's a test, I think it's
It's,
just,
it's important to know
Yeah.
what kind of cake are we baking here?
Yeah,
right.
it's criminal justice, it's coming out of the criminal justice department.
Okay,
That person also posts the,
postal warrant.
postal warrant.
But right now, it's the
We're
police.
paying a officer to go down and post the warrant.
I think they're doing it on shift, because I asked that
They
question
are
too.
doing it on.
Yeah, I was like, are we gonna spend money on this?
Yeah. Well, my fear was always that they would come in and pick them up and then get on a
Call.
bad call.
Yeah, they're
That
gonna chase down the street.
Throw 'em in the
that they're
back.
going to be tied up for hours and hours and forget about it. I mean, that's not top priority for them,
Yeah.
and I'm not putting them down at all, because I think they do a
No,
good
but
job, but,
if it's close to the time, it's gotta be posted to.
yeah,
the
and
14 days.
usually it is like within hours.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you ready to post it? Yeah. You don't.
You know, I don't think we should stop.
But we have to know how we're gonna,
Right, how we're gonna proceed.
How do
Well,
we?
how are we gonna figure that out if the lawyer doesn't wanna help us?
Didn't the police chief speak at the town meeting in
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 favor
favor
of
of the
police.
police.
Well, Carol.
Well, I
Carol,
know, but I remember he get up there
Well, of
and
course he's gonna do that.
fund some whatever safety stuff, but I
Well,
can't
no,
remember.
Of course they're
What
gonna
we
do
should
that.
look into is what is required to be the,
To be a constable.
constable. What is it required you to do?
That would be my, just like,
Right.
because if they become a town, if you're an appointed or if you're gonna receive compensation from the town, what are your
What are your
credentials?
responsibilities?
And what's your job description?
Well, is it a licensed
Well, they-
position, Jeff?
they-
Do you
they
get a
did have-
license to be a
I
constable?
don't know.
You gotta
I
have
believe there
license
was
to do
a
everything
job
else.
description for constable.
I mean, my God.
Yeah, you gotta have a license to cut hair, so you probably have to have a license to be a
Yeah.
constable.
Exactly.
You have the license and I'm sure there's bonding. that
So
goes
what we
with it.
need is language, legal language to put on the warrant.
Yeah.
That's essentially what we're
Yeah.
talking about there. And are we talking about?
Well, when the
elected-
warrant, is the warrant already,
No, I
No,
was
we
gonna say,
get
that's the next item on the agenda, so
oh, okay.
so we can continue talking about this or go to the warrant. It's kind of like,
Go to the
the
warrant.
special town meeting is gonna be February 25th,
Oh,
February 25th?
February 25th.
Wednesday,
At the high school. At the high school.
at the high school, that's right. It's gonna-
What happened to the town
And
hall?
warrant hasn't,
It's big enough.
For what?
It's the parking wasn't
No,
anything.
No parking.
Parking and the hearing in the town.
Accessibility is all easier.
Okay.
right, and if you overflow and you're not just filling the hall, then you're in cameras and
And that
in the other
just
rooms
never
and
works well.
those
No.
stay bright.
February
So when is
25th
it,
is a
February
Wednesday?
25th?
Yes.
I better write that
Yeah.
down too,
So
thank
that's town meeting?
Town meeting. Yeah.
At 7,
Oh, it's the
correct?
special
Yeah.
town meeting,
Bedtime.
At 7?
7
No,
o'clock
I'm kidding.
at the high school.
Okay.
7, okay. High
27th.
school.
7
Going in to look at the posting because,
p.m.
All right, well, I
special
gotta,
town meeting.
Yes.
Okay, then the.
all right, we've moved on.
I moved on, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
so
gonna-
what are we doing with the constable? Nothing? We're just
No,
gonna
no,
let it
no,
go?
no,
We're
we're
looking
talking
for-
about it now in the warrant.
in the warrant. The warrant for the special town meeting
John,
will
move it
open on January 21st, so the warrant has
Oh.
not
Oh, I
opened
see.
yet. And it will close on February 2nd at 4 p.m.
So I
At
just,
least that's what's posted on the town website.
I thought it was
Say
2-3,
warrant
but don't, I could be
is open.
mixing my dates
Well,
up.
yeah, but that's good to have.
Well, And the complete warrant for the special will be posted by February the 11th.
so I just did a
When
quick,
does it close?
11, 2-2.
Okay.
I just typed in a question, what is it required to become a town constable?
On the 11th.
And it basically says you have to submit an application to the town's appointing authority, get a background check by the police department,
Corey, right?
Corey, and a Corey, get character references,
Yes.
and
Wouldn't it be constable?
appointed authority investigates, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Some towns require specific training or a state exam.
Everybody's doing-
Check with the town for approved courses. We couldn't obviously give an applicant that since we have no idea ourselves. And then and you have to also post a surety bond for $5,000. And then you can be sworn in.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, you have
you're
to-
doing a good
So,
job.
Oh,
but,
just what I wanna do, exactly.
you know, the town's appointing, the first thing is submit an application to the town's appointing authority. So, which,
That would be the board of selectmen?
That's the
or do you
selectmen.
That would-
choose
that would-
anyone to appoint?
Yeah.
Could it be the moderator?
what's that?
Can it be the moderator?
No, I think.
No,
can
it
be
says
the
town
police chief.
clerk / manager's office.
Oh,
But I think it can be the police chief also.
Town clerk? That would be.
From what I-
Town clerk / manager's office is what it
So
says,
that's.
as an
the TA
example,
and the clerk, for example, together.
possibly.
Hmm.
But I would expect you'd have to have the board of selectmen's concurrence on that.
Because they're the appointing authority, right?
In towns and
In
there.
towns, they're the appointing authority.
Not all the appointing authority, moderator is appointing authority for,
For capital
Right,
planning
but
and
that's-
and the finance
Otherwise,
committee.
it's the board of selectmen.
You're called out
I mean,
specifically.
yeah.
oh, called out, okay. All right, so how do we wanna do this? What do we wanna do? How do we wanna do?
So,
Okay, so it has to be-
Oh, wrong way.
We want
Okay,
language.
and then for completeness, I just want to hit the last line. If anybody needs to register to vote, register to vote by Friday, February 13th to be eligible to vote at the town meeting.
Oh, right.
So,
And
February 13th.
as a point of, I
Yeah.
guess I all feel it's helpful, if you're gonna try to get this put past at a town meeting, I would really not rush it for the January 21st, 2-3 town meeting.
No, I mean, that's sensible.
I
Yeah.
would sniff out the things that made it vulnerable and sort of see what some other towns that still have a constable have done,
Mhm.
that make it a bit more of a strong position for you to have the townspeople re-vote on. Just point in an idea.
No, that's a very good point.
Rather than like jam it down, square peg round hole.
Well,
Right.
Like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
always work.
And
It's not
I
the
mean,
Ronald pegging around.
for us, it's
Right.
about money, it's about finances,
Trying to,
but it might be interesting to hear what other towns have to say, why they keep them.
Does Dunstable have one, do you know?
No, we've never even heard of it.
They don't
so
have
they
one.
probably have the police do all that.
Pepperell doesn't,
But they're half the,
I don't
they're
think
half the
Pepperell
size
has
of
one.
us, right?
Pepperell doesn't anymore.
You
No,
said
I
they were
don't-
half the size of
I think
town.
because nobody wants to be a
4,000.
Nobody wants to be a
What?
cop?
4,000 people in Dunstable.
In
Um,
Dunstable, right? And
Lunenburg
in
has
Townsend,
constables,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're required,
94.
yeah, but see, it's half
they
the
have to
size.
use a police officer because none of the constables will do it because they don't want to encroach upon the police officers,
Well,
because they want to keep a good relationship with them, basically.
right,
They want to be backed up.
they won't, you're saying they won't do any of the servings?
It's a strategy.
Oh, no, for the election,
The constables in Lunenburg won't do the election?
no.
Interesting.
Well, they did have to be
Because
appointed
police
here
have
too.
always done it. and they
Oh,
don't
okay.
want to
Police have
step
always
on
done
their
it, now
toes.
that's a different story.
Right,
But in towns and the police historically never did it,
right.
it's always been a constable, so that's an opposite situation. All right.
So-
So we just need a little bit more information here.
Well, I
That's a
mean,
good
and some of
strategy.
the information we probably need too is a reiteration of the Board of Selectmen's reasoning for eliminating it in the first place.
No, they're not gonna tell us, that's what they told us.
Oh, yeah,
We
they
already know that.
said
Well, we
We
can
We're
ask
asking
again.
Absolutely. I'll
Yeah.
see what I can figure out.
You think they'll tell you?
No,
You know, and there are certain things, I mean, they can be armed in Massachusetts.
Oh, they can
Yes,
be,
yes.
yes,
They do
but,
have to, it's more background check than just the quarry, it looks like too.
yes,
And I think if I remember, that was part of the objection
What?
that they
Cory?
had, no, the armed, the fact that
That was
they,
a lawyer brought up the arm.
right,
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and
And they-
potential danger
and they
if they
can
shoot
be.
somebody.
they can be, but we can
Oh, okay, we get
basically,
that. They don't
you
have a
know,
gun.
I don't,
We don't have to worry about that.
I think a lot of them have a license to carry, but I've never seen a constable at an election carry anything. Whether they do it when they go to serve papers, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Some places, just Google it, and you could have your off-duty police officer also be your constable. So if it's for
There's a
if it's for
possibility,
saving
yeah,
money
yeah.
on a town election, you say to Officer Smith, hey, you're in
but
the
I'm-
overnight shift, will you do it
Hmm.
at the same constable rate?
But does the
Yes.
chief of police have to be in on that one?
Not if
I
you were
would-
to appoint them as the constable.
Do we have
You know what's
auxiliary
happened
police?
though,
Oh, that's
the
a good idea.
the last election we had,
Do we have auxiliary police,
What?
auxiliary police department? You know, like,
We're not that,
I don't believe so.
we're not that
Yeah.
great. I think that's a big city.
no, Pepperell has auxiliary.
Constable is auxiliary, they're like a
Yeah,
reserve
What
officer.
are
I-
they?
I
They're
talked,
kinda like-
yeah, I did have that
Oh,
conversation
But
with the
they, and
chief
you're what,
a while ago.
they don't get the same amount of pay.
No, but they need the same amount of training, and that's why they were eliminated in Townsend. Because the cost to maintain.
They have to be
an auxiliary
post-certified, all that stuff.
They have to be certified for everything, and so the chief stopped using it.
And so-
I mean, it's a conversation when we talk to the chief that we can have, but, it was a couple years ago we had that conversation.
Was it the
that-
same chief?
I
It's
can't,
the same chief.
I know
So,
chiefs have changed
Yeah. No, 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 it was,
several
was
times.
chief
It's like town
Yeah.
administrator.
It's not a joke, right?
It's up to you guys, it's not up to me.
Oh my God, they're gonna go,
Well-
oh, we turned it over so many times, that's why we lost everything. You don't know.
But-
You say which one?
Yeah,
So, well, while we're on the special town meeting.
Okay.
It's kind of like, I just want to, we need copies of the warrant and the motions, so that we can vote and make our recommendations if there's anything financial. So the sooner the better that we can see.
Yeah, we'll be getting one, there'll be a ballot or a town meeting question from the police department. That's the particular one of note.
Two?
Yeah.
Two, yeah, there'll be sort of a blended one. Yeah, two is a better way to phrase it, but, I will let the police chief probably explain it better than I ever can.
Okay.
And Chief Sartell and I sat and went over it this morning, so it is complicated, but I'll let him explain it from
He's
his.
very good at explaining it.
It's also at the end of our last select board meeting, we voted on it. So if you go like 6 hours in.
Yes.
And you can,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
then you can
yeah.
find it and see what it
Yeah,
is.
for context, and I think this is what Valerie is getting to, is the select board asked me to say that they're gonna utilize some of the remaining ARPA funds that were set aside for wages to cover the retro pay for the police officers for fiscal year 25.
Okay, and so that's
Oh,
gonna,
26.
that is also gonna be a lot of questions that we have going in this year, is the ARPA funds are gonna go away as of December 31st
Of 2026,
of
correct?
2026, which is halfway through 27.
Mhm.
So we need to know all the plans. We haven't looked at the ARPA funds for a while, but, most of them were allocated and either paid out or hung on to for just a couple of things.
Yeah, these are specifically earmarked for wages, and with this retroactive pay to police, it would cover the majority. of it.
Okay, so that's a new contract for police?
Yeah, it's essentially,
It's a year out, right? I mean,
No, this
a
is
year behind.
FY 26.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But if this is the first time we're voting on pay about the contract, is that mean if we fully funded, that we accept that the town accepts the contract for the next?
it's gonna end up being two agreements, basically, and I think,
Okay.
the police chief will better explain it. Like I said,
Okay,
it's, he'll say this is basically catching you up.
this is
and then
catching you up
moving
to where we didn't have a contract for the gap time.
And then the second part of that override question is truly approving a 2-year contract at the agreed upon wage
Mhm.
increases in terms of the contract and collective bargaining agreement. That's the primary warrant,
Mhm.
unless there's other things that folks have me.
I was
Pile
gonna
onto
say,
it.
usually last time, there was someone was zoning and questions, or,
Yeah, I don't anticipate any stormwater management or zoning type questions. I checked with her.
yeah, we don't usually,
So as you may know too, Carol, I think that was all sort of being tabled, right?
Right now, yeah, we're not taking any action right now on those.
yes. Okay, so any other questions on the warrant timing or special town meeting? Or, okay, next I had on the list to review the BVA. I didn't go to Elizabeth. I have one through the end of December. I did not get it distributed to everybody, so, we can move that to the next
Good.
meeting. Well,
Drives me crazy.
it will-
DDA.
it will
What's the
give you the opportunity to look at it and have questions and we can-
Tell I keep the lights on.
We gotta get a handle on the BBA, is the problem.
I wanna know how much you're getting in, then we can talk about what we're getting out. Oh, here it is, revenue reports.
Well, we didn't get the revenue report. I was hoping that, as we would get free cash certified, but that was,
Me too.
I was gonna say, usually that's the, winter meeting is usually after certification, so if there is money that we can use out of there and certify, but that will be, I'm sure, articles in the special, inside the annual town meeting then.
For the recap sheet, we're supposed to get
Mhm.
so much sales tax money, so much, et cetera.
Yeah.
Is there ever a breakdown that says, like, should that be spread out evenly over the year, or does that come in chunks at certain times? Like, is that something that we can look at and see how are we doing for this fiscal year right now?
I think,
Are we ahead of plan, behind plan?
Yeah.
Is there any way we can, is there a way we can look at that?
The way I have it in the budget, from Nelson was left behind just as, here's the number, and here's, he puts a little anecdotal, like, hey, I was pretty conservative, could be risk averse, or I was, put up.
Right, for the budgeting purposes, no, I guess what I'm asking is, so we have a certain number in our budget for this fiscal year. Is there any way we can look at the revenue to say, how have we done so far? Are we ahead of plan, or are we
Yeah,
behind?
if we
I think that's a
spend
great-
60% of it, or if we spend.
Yeah, is there any,
or
So
have we
what's the
received?
goal?
Yeah.
the
So
goal is to understand, did we under project, did we
Mhm.
over project?
Yes.
And how does that inform us for next year when we say, well, we've got to budget our expenditures versus our revenues? We're always taking a guess at what the revenues are going to be. I'd like to know, all right, last year we had this guess, and was that a good guess? Was that a lousy guess? Did we guess
Right. So-
high? Did we guess low?
Yeah.
And
Right.
therefore, how do we adjust the
Wouldn't you
guess?
just take the last 3 years, average them out, and then determine what happened within town approvals and?
Okay, great. I'd love to get those
But you
numbers.
guys already have those numbers.
We do?
You have the previous 3 years, don't you?
No,
No.
we don't have,
So you don't have like the previous 3 years.
Well,
town
no,
reports?
they're
it's-
somewhere, but we don't
it's-
have those reports.
yeah, so there's a line that says other revenues, $2 million. We don't know what gets into making up that $2 million. So if you've got a revenue guess and we don't know what's making it up, we don't know where to go to say,
Why is
if we
this a
get the
hard
coverage.
question? Shouldn't there be somewhere? I mean, we have checks coming in, correct, or however the money comes in.
I would have just thought
It
that's in
should
your
go-
town report. Every year you, in your town
He's
report, you
talking
would talk
about
about.
now.
No, we-
He's talking
but-
about,
But now is only helpful in the sense that you're trying to guess
No,
now, but if you looked at the last 3 years of performance, you'd be averaging
Right,
it out
so-
and predicting.
That stopped, that stopped probably 4 years ago. We had an Excel spreadsheet from the Collins group that the finance team would enter the data. And if you looked at it, that was the budget book, and it would show you all the revenues by source and where they were. That stopped 4 more years ago.
So as a, again,
And
first time, as a
as
FinCom, you don't do like your own, like,
we,
you'd be doing your,
we
it almost sounds like you're trying to predict paycheck to paycheck rather than like, this is what the year does. And this is what the previous 3 years have done to give us
Right.
predictive analysis for the upcoming year.
that's what we're asking
Well-
for, and
Yeah,
we
we
asked
didn't
what
even
makes it
know
up, and
before
the
you
answer was,
I would love to get those numbers. I don't, where
we
do I
don't
get
have
them
them.
from?
I'll look at the budget sheets I have, but I'm a little surprised you didn't get those from a town administrator before. But I'll
Yeah,
ponder that and
it-
look at your,
it was
if it's
kind
right
of,
there, yeah.
Just 1 year.
So it doesn't show like previous year's performance?
No.
All right, well, that's,
yeah, if you go back to about the 2019 annual report, you'll see what it was to what we're
yeah, 'cause you
getting.
showed like fiscal year 17, 18,
So we need to
Mhm.
19
wrap them up.
confirmed, and you're at the
that's
2020
pretty much all.
town meeting, because that's what the previous 3 years have done.
Mhm.
That's
So
all.
it's like a-
Right.
Yeah, that, I mean,
Yeah, but off to the
Right,
good, not
and
to
we've been
the
asking.
and I won't say that I haven't tried looking, that I've tried looking for it, because I haven't.
Yeah,
right. To be honest, I haven't really tried to look for it,
Okay.
but it would be, and I guess the big thing is, last year was my first year on this, right? And so we had this recap sheet with, here's some numbers, right? And I'd just like to know, well, okay, these are the numbers we planned for this fiscal year.
Yeah,
How we doing on that? Right? And that's part of my question was, is that something that comes in regularly month to month? So we can look at it and say, hey, we're halfway through the year, we should have half of what we expected.
Right.
If it doesn't work like that, okay, fine.
Yeah,
We
but-
can't do it that way, then that's fine. Then absolutely, the historical 5 years would be
Yeah.
even better.
because I would back into it like, all right, we have 1,000 houses, we know we permitted, 10 new houses, so the average tax bill for every new house is X. That means we got, $1 million
Right,
in tax income, so we're gonna add another.
And I'm not
$200,000.
really, I'm not really even talking about the tax base. I'm talking more of the other
The other
town
revenue,
revenues that we have.
Let's see if I can. pull it up.
Because, right, the tax base is the tax base, and that's only allowed to change,
Yeah,
that's,
Well, take a look at that.
But even like,
report there.
you know,
That's
you could-
interesting. Everybody should see that.
Vehicles are vehicles and
Right, but I
Yeah,
think that's the thing, is
So-
that
What I was trying
if
to
that's
ask.
another revenue,
The
that's
So if
beginning-
that's true,
Well, tell them what it is first before you.
where's the extra money?
Yeah, okay, so.
Because they had the estimated, which was what, 1.7 or something,
Yeah.
and the actual was 2.1?
was that FY '23?
No, FY '24.
Wouldn't that have just been gone into?
That should have just gone into free cash, right?
No, FY '25 was in free cash.
No, but I'm saying, but this page here
Yeah.
is local receipts from FY '24.
Right,
There was an estimate, and here was the actuals.
Yeah.
So the actuals was
So we spent it on this.
300,000 more.
right,
So that should have gone into free cash
not
last
necessarily.
year, right?
Well,
unless it was capital was earmarked up against it.
Right, it's kind of like, this is just the revenue, it's not the expenses on the other side.
But the expenses should be in that book as well.
Right, but the expenses should have been close to what was budgeted, and what was budgeted should have been based on what was estimated.
Right,
Right, the 1.7.
So the free cash-
1.17. Whatever, 1.7.
So, right, it may not have been exactly this difference, but close to that difference.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But I guess the general question is, any overage on those numbers should go into free cash.
Correct.
Okay.
Just like, I know
Any
some,
money that's not spent goes in.
so like when
Right.
you said, oh, I don't follow the BVA is critically important for getting to your free cash number at the end of the year.
Right.
But I'm not a big free cash believer. That strategy leaves me a little bit cold. I think we should be working more on, I know it's an estimate, I know you can't know everything, but I think we should be closer on the target, personally. I mean, if it's 1 mil, whatever that number
Yeah,
is,
but if it was-
17, and then it became 24.
No, it was 21,
21?
2.1, I think. But,
It was-
so that was free cash, so you start
How
out
do
with
you, how do you know
like-
that was free cash?
400,000 free, because of the estimated versus the actual. So you have
It's the delta.
$400,000 that goes into free cash. What comes out of free, what does free cash pay for? Snow and ice is a huge,
I understand
what's
that.
that, about
I understand that, yeah.
250,000 or so?
I understand that, but then there's all those other little things.
Right, things that you don't expect is gonna happen. Like if the furnace,
A boiler for a building,
yeah,
bulletproof
Oh,
vests
for
for the
the-
police officers,
Yeah.
right,
things of that nature,
different
EMS
things that you're
equipment.
not really expecting
Yeah.
to have happen.
so there,
An extra election.
Like Jen, the town accountant is happy to tell you the recommended range. We sit right in the recommended for how we budget.
For the anticipated
You
revenue.
don't wanna get so close.
right, yeah,
And so
Yeah.
she's worried that in the future we won't, we're gonna fall under that. But you can ask the town accountant, she's
Mhm.
happy to explain.
Yeah, no, it makes sense once you said it was free, and it's like, of course,
Yeah.
so.
So if you were to take that book, last year, like the last 3 years' books, you could just,
Mhm.
input it to an Excel.
Right.
spreadsheet. I could probably do it, I'll probably do it, because now I'm curious. But and because I'm thinking already for you guys for next year. So in the event that I'm not sitting here, how is that TA?
right, but
How are they successful?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you need free cash to cover, broken windows or a roof leak.
snow and ice,
Like
Well,
you said, elections, because
but-
big midterm elections next year, like, what
Yeah.
are we gonna do?
Well, and if by chance we have
This
to
year.
have another election for whatever,
right, an override, if the
an
warrant,
override, or if one of the selectmen decides to up and
They
run
won't have
away,
yeah. No,
we have to have a
well,
special election for it.
let's go with something, we have an article on the warrant for this year, for the town meeting, to go to a 5.
Oh, that's right.
That's
the
right, so
five
there's
board,
gonna,
yeah,
that
yeah.
could kick off,
Yeah, it could kick
Another
off another election.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
I thought that was written such that if that gets approved, then
Within 60
the
days,
next, I thought the
No, no,
next town election was gonna fill those positions, that it wasn't gonna require a special town election. I
that's
could be wrong,
no,
though.
the way the article is written.
Yeah.
Or was written,
mhm.
I think it was to have,
A special election?
yeah,
Okay,
Right, I think it was, at the time where it was introduced, it had to be done at an annual town meeting, it couldn't be in a special town meeting.
right.
So that's why the warrant article was pushed to put the 5-person board on the annual town
Right.
meeting as an
No, I
article.
remember that. I just thought, I
And then.
I thought they made it so that there would not have to be a special election,
Yeah.
but obviously I'm wrong. So
And
that's,
then,
I think
That's fine.
they
so
changed
they,
that.
anyway, that was just something that hit me, that there's something
Yeah, and
that,
I mean, that's
the
something that
potential's
could
there.
very well happen, I may not, but it could.
right,
Right.
it could, but that's,
Special town meeting?
What's that?
Is there any interest in doing that for the special town meeting?
We already did it,
Oh, all right.
but
So-
it goes on the annual election.
Oh,
It
okay.
has to go to a
right,
vote.
that's right, it's an
Okay.
annual
Ballot.
election. It's a
Yes.
ballot.
Yeah, it has to go on the, right, it had to
Yeah,
go on
that's
a
what it
ballot
It's
vote.
in the
And that's-
charter, but the way it's worded in the charter, it can be approved at a town meeting in an election. It doesn't have to go to the legislature and,
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, they kicked it
yeah,
off.
no, it doesn't have
Yeah.
to.
But right, it had to be approved at both, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if it fails at
Yeah.
the
that's-
election, then
Are we at the point of waiting for the election now?
we're.
April.
For the 5
April
person
selection.
select board, yeah.
That says we can have the file, or not,
It will be
No,
on the ballot to vote to have the
For-
file.
right?
Yeah. the
Then
question
we have
is
another special election
To
to,
vote in
in the
the
file.
extras.
In the extras if that passes.
Mhm.
We can't wait till the next,
If you get 5 volunteers, good for you guys. Can't get volunteers for anything.
Well, but wait, how many people do
It's
we
all the
have?
same.
versus- How many people do we
It
have
always
in
is,
town?
isn't it?
Same people.
this is one of the very few times I've been able to sit in this committee with all the seats appropriated to some decent person, or any person.
Thank you, Sam.
I better leave the room
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
It's gonna-
I've been on this thing, I don't know how many, a
Years.
dozen and a half years, I mean, it's,
You've been on for a long.
Yeah.
yeah, and
You
I,
and Andrea
it's
came on.
rarely full. There's always a special seat or 2 or 3.
Hmm.
Or, sometimes you get, the whole committee was the quorum.
Many times.
So, you're right, I wonder where we're gonna get 5 people to be, go for the selectman thing, but they voted for it, they can have it.
See what happens.
Mary Jane, there you
Oh,
go.
Mary Jane wants to run.
Mary Jane does
I
not
have a
wanna
question
run.
for this. I have the 10-year local receipt estimate versus actual, because I requested it from Elizabeth, so I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So I did the 10-year.
Yeah.
Oh,
But does it do it by source or just the
Yeah.
total revenues? Okay.
It'll be like what it is in
It
the
would like what it is in the
town
book.
report, right?
Does the book say excise?
That looks gorgeous.
Oh, yeah,
And
so it'll
so
be
it's
like that.
estimated
Yeah.
actual for the past 2
Okay.
years.
Thank you.
As a practice, just use 2021 and on.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID is punted
Yeah.
for
This
all
is just
best
to see the
courses.
trend,
It's not
and
Mm.
we
relevant.
don't really,
Oh, it's not relevant?
They-
When
Yeah.
does it start?
I was gonna say-
2022?
COVID, once 2020 hit,
Mhm.
anything budgetarily wise, inflation wise, and everything is completely, anything before that's out.
Anything before that is out.
It's just,
We-
Oh,
look at the
world
world.
changed,
Or-
right, yeah.
Or
Look at it. I mean,
you chop out
my budget
those
at home
years
would.
and see if you can stitch it.
Right, everybody's
There's
doing
no-
it.
Well, but in that
Yeah,
case,
but
we
from
also have the
21
problem
through
of
till-
there's a lot of items in the budget that were paid for by opera, so they're hidden to us. They're not really actual.
I've begun to pick those out,
Hmm,
because we
I
had a
think
similar
those
issue.
funds are the worst things that ever
Yeah.
happened to us.
but kind of, so there's, there was a lot of it. That's why I knew we were coming down to the end of COVID funds, and so it'd be,
We don't want to give it back though.
Okay, so
well, it's kind of like, it's hard to reallocate. It's kind of like, but.
is that why we're in such, or not just us, but a lot of towns are in such trouble because they don't have the upper funds?
It's a little bit of that, also the consequences within the academic world in the cost of schools related to it.
Mm,
And
right.
the inappropriate measures that Chapter 70 funding has come with.
I was gonna say that.
Unfunded mandates
Yeah.
for rural communities that take pride in their education, but then are faced with having to fund things that they can't afford to fund without
Yeah.
penalties in other athletics, social studies, whatever.
Athletics is one of the most important classes you can take, or
But check with most school programs in the
I
area,
know.
charge for their,
I know where they
Children that
put it, it's
play
not,
soccer,
my personal opinion is, that's the most important course.
You're,
I hear you.
you're going back to President Kennedy's,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a
Six-
football
yeah.
fan, you were talking about
Physical
football.
fitness
So
we're still with-
It's just
We-
the athletic
we were-
part for the
yeah,
individual,
We're being watched.
for the training, for the young.
since
Body
we
of mind.
are talking the revenue reports and we don't have them, but we've got a place to go back and look at them, we'll move that.
Okay,
So we're moving that to the next meeting.
I think that's the right thing to do,
I do too. That's good.
and then,
Part 3?
Start budget.
So I guess,
Review.
before we go off this, I'll just leave you with the request. other than the property tax stuff, I'm not really worried about that. If we can get a progress report on some of the other revenues, items in that sheet for this fiscal year, that would be nice to see.
They're going in the general funds, not the individual revolving funds. Revolving funds should be something we look at in budget season, because one of the things that we do is, one of the first articles at town meeting is to approve the revolving fund amounts. So, and that's something we haven't necessarily done in the past, is review the history and make sure the balance is right, before we do it. We do have, an alternate if we approve it and it needs to be increased. The Board of Selectmen and Finance Committee can vote on it, but if we're voting on it at town meeting, I much prefer it to be approved by the town.
You want like 3 years?
Yeah, I think that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just sent it to you, John, so you can.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I think it's.
Right, so the only thing I think I would ask from you is this year's progress.
August,
Yeah, I'll put a couple anecdotal information on it
Yeah.
from what Nelson did.
so it includes everything from 2024, and then estimates for 25. So it is August, so it's
Do
probably.
you
the
have
actual
actuals for 25?
It would be then now, but when I had, I think, because because we.
Thought of you,
State
like
was
that.
like.
Oh, okay.
You looking for like the Snickers at the bottom?
I thought it was somebody's.
It does look like a hat, I didn't want to, I was gonna say, that Mary Jane, I thought that was Mary Jane's hat there on the table.
Oh, no, I got my hat right there.
She wouldn't have put her hand on the table.
It's fuel.
No,
No, really.
Okay, gonna
I
be
was
that
just
way
saying,
about
for
it.
those
That's the
6 hour
only way
meetings
the
to try to keep the
selectmen stay
energy.
for how many hours is because of the kid.
My favorite professors used to call those like jelly bellies, like smart pills. And sit in an economics test, and I'm like, oh man, I can't.
I'm
do
not gonna
this.
dig through it. Dump it on the table.
All right.
That was 3 months ago.
Okay, so
Yeah. One, 2 months ago, yeah, we have I like these little.
Yeah, dark chocolate, yeah, dark chocolate, yeah.
The darker the better, yeah.
And the last item was start budget spreadsheet reviews, but,
But we can't.
we can't, not everybody got them. It's kind of like, so I'll
I
go,
looked at the town clerk one because it was there, but.
right, so,
So we
If we
And I
want-
did question Harrison on a few things.
did he have anything, I haven't looked at his budget yet, did he have anything on the special, the election,
Well, he increased the cost for the constable versus
yeah, no, I was,
police, and that was way out of whack at first, and it's like, Harrison, what are you doing?
Yeah. but it was the allocated money to the special election fund, that's not part of
I
the
didn't
budget.
see that.
Okay, so that's something, we have a couple of places where we've stored money, to try to level out, especially on the election funds, that they budget there, but on a year where there's extra elections.
Yeah. He
there's-
said there's 3 right this year, maybe a 4th.
3,
3, okay.
yeah, and maybe a 4th,
Mhm.
but that could actually be this
It could be in
fiscal year
FY '27.
versus next
Right,
fiscal
yeah,
year,
yeah.
it's for the selectmen.
Yeah, so the idea was to try to level the budget so you're not going up and down every year.
Yeah.
When you have the presidential election, you've got the primary in
It
March,
spikes.
you'd have all these spikes, so to try to level it out, they created an account with money in it that can be transferred into the election fund as needed, but we have to replenish that, we have to watch what the elections are and replenish it with free cash.
And there was some good grants, for those types of funding, as well, so.
Okay.
Some good grants.
Something you've got a handle on that I wasn't aware of, so, but we do have about 5 or 6 of those that are around that we need to monitor and look at this year. We had one for 5,000, it's in at about 3,800 right now, so if we wanna bump it up to have enough in that account.
Yeah, the budget is, lean.
It is, it's kind of like,
You guys know.
and so far.
Everyone's budget is lean,
Right.
yeah.
So, in the spreadsheet I'll talk about will be, ours, I tried to bump the reserve fund back up to 50,000.
Good.
We came down to 40,000 this year because they were gonna cut everything,
Yeah,
but in a year you're cutting, we should have actually increased it.
What do you guys usually use your reserve fund? What sort of practices do you apply it?
We just use the general practices of unplanned. It needs to hit the unplanned. We don't have it documented yet. That's one of the things I want to do. And get the forms posted so they're available.
Maintenance has, for our town building has X number of dollars in it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you blow the boiler.
Yeah.
On something that is not expected to go bad, or that's what we've been
Yeah,
using for the past.
So you guys would cover like the boiler?
It's kind of like that probably shouldn't be,
Yeah,
because, or we should have a second one for maintenance items like that. When the sump pumps, or the pumps put out on going to the septic tanks, both of them went.
okay,
So we did approve that,
okay.
at that point. But again, that's maintenance and that's building. It's not, it's
More of a year-end
unplanned,
transfer
but you
than anything
have a maintenance and account and there wasn't enough money in there.
Right,
It's kind of like, that's not unexpected, unplanned, it's underfunded.
yeah,
It's kind of like, so it really comes down to, how strict we are with
okay,
the rules. And this year we would have to be really tight. If somebody came in trying to get reserve fund money, say because they cut the office supplies in half,
yeah,
and now they overspent on office supplies, that's really not an emergency. That was underfunded budget.
right.
And you have to address it differently.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, so the reserve fund really needs to be, managed.
I think-
Yes,
Once or twice in the past, it's been used when someone left the position, right? If we had to go out and hire new and we were underpaying, I think once.
not reserve fund.
Is there?
No, you would do municipal transfer requests in the last 2 months of the year, which is another way. And if you want, I have been keeping logs of those
Yeah,
and numbering the documents, so you can get a history of what we've done for reserve fund and municipal transfers over the last.
Haven't I used it before for elections, for extra elections?
You had put it in and then we found other money.
Okay,
Katie located I think it was the funds that came in from the Secretary of State,
oh, the presidential or
the
something.
presidential or something, and we transferred. Because we had taken, that was, I think it was a reserve fund or transfer, but it's in the log as not funded.
Not
So
funded, yeah.
we can see all of the ones that came in, and ones that were approved and not approved. So that,
you don't use it for like unemployment, things like that, or nothing of that nature?
no, I mean, usually those are insurance, when we're short on insurance, they're municipal transfer requests at the end of the year. And you'll see those on here. It's kind of like, so, generally we would have a position not funded for the year. And so there was a lot of money in a salary line that we could transfer to the expense.
Okay,
And cover it. Or vice versa, we didn't have full staffing, so we over budgeted on healthcare, on the health insurance.
yeah,
And so there was money in the health insurance to move elsewhere.
yeah, because I guess I always think like health insurance, you should always have like the town, this number of employees, like 3 open spots.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of 3 families of 15 kids, you know?
Right,
like,
yep.
all right, what's that hit
Yeah.
gonna look like?
Yep.
But you know, that's just, those are sort of practices that I believe in, I guess,
Mm.
hope to keep rolling for the town, so.
No,
You never know.
Is there any way we can get the, budget sheets printed out?
There are. I was working on it and it didn't work real well. It's kind of like,
Okay.
They're not
that's why I was
great.
late. Print it out so you can read them, not shrunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
It's kind of like we have to size it and probably go to the 11 by 17.
yeah,
Um,
I started.
And do
this
that.
I like a
afternoon.
hard copy.
Well, depends on how far you make it read
no,
them, but
No,
these-
these-
these- no,
It's not a
this-
good format.
What
This-
sheets are you printing out?
these were the
So,
sheets for the
what will-
transfer.
Don, what will you do,
Oh.
project them then?
I can
Because
project
I don't
them.
have a laptop, my laptop
Oh, okay.
died.
Okay. We'll try to get them printed out usually. Sabrina had put them into binders first.
okay.
It's kind of like, so we can, if that's part of where we need to go and buy some binders.
Oh, yeah, let's, okay.
We can reuse our binders
I was
from
gonna say,
last
I've
year.
got binders.
I have my binder from last year, but I haven't pulled it off the shelf yet.
It was just horrible, everything was like here, there, and everywhere.
And so,
No, the pagination was a mess.
Right, and that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
yeah,
when's your next
I
meeted?
have the binder and I
Next week, this
I
time.
already
Next week, this
printed
one?
off
Yeah, right,
the
right.
new
Are you doing
ones.
it at night or?
Yeah, 6 o'clock at night.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
I just don't have the ones.
If I can be here on Friday and I'm just gonna close that door, I will input it all. I'll do like, it's gonna be a yellow column. It'll say FY 27 department requested. And it'll be that omnibus spreadsheet. So if Don's at the helm here, you can sort of scroll through it and you can literally go down all the way. And it'll be every single number that's requested. I won't. The only two that I'll change are housing authority and housing admin, because I'm technically that department right now.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, they should just zero that out. So, but I'll put a little anecdotal information in there. So if that makes it simpler for you, because then you can sit here with the screen up as a group and sort of say, all right, we're at, cemetery and parks. Here's where they requested. Here's what they got last year. Here's some other iterations of 24, 25.
And
That helps.
Yeah,
Rather than
and-
print stuff out, like that seems like a piece of paper.
And it works.
Everybody does it differently, but.
I
maybe-
just like writing notes on it,
Yeah.
and If
I can print out that big budget for you too, though, because that'll be 11 by, or 12 by 8 pieces of paper. Just like,
yeah, but how many pages is that?
well, we won't worry about that.
I just like writing notes, and I like to review it and write my questions next to it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I'm an old
especially-
fashioned.
It's a worksheet, yeah.
I mean, this is,
I'm aging myself, that's what it is.
notebooks for the last like 15 years of my life, so like.
Yeah.
and printing in black and white versus color.
Yeah, black and white.
Half a penny a page versus 5 cents a page.
Kieran, whatever's presented to us in February, you'll have printed out part of those meetings or something.
I suspect,
Say yes, yeah.
but yeah,
This is what we got last year, no? Just had everything in it. Right?
Yes.
If you
Change.
The
want,
problem we
a
had,
lot, it's a lot of paper for, I'm just thinking of a
Yeah.
ream of paper is about what, $12 a pop?
yeah,
We're gonna have one per person.
Or not. I mean, I'm fine with it digitally, but.
If you give me 1 second, I'll show you what we did in another.
Are you saying no?
What?
Are you saying
No.
I've already printed out the 24 files that you
okay,
sent.
yeah.
I can't
Oh, you
read
did?
them. I can't
So
even,
good.
I can't even see them, never mind read them.
Well, I was trying to go
Yeah, see,
through
that's,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
give them that.
Oh,
No, thank you.
so small.
No,
I
no.
can't see that.
Oh, well, I could,
I was just
Well-
looking for.
I can face it, I can just barely
Yeah,
read
no,
it.
no, no,
This is
yeah,
what-
it's gonna,
Some other
But I can
towns
still
in the
read
area,
it.
like something like that.
That's what you're planning on doing, right? Something
ma'am.
in this idea?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and that's good.
Okay,
You can share that with
Yeah,
everybody.
so that's,
all right.
yeah,
I'll also try to do
Yeah.
longer down the road, like a
Excuse me, I just put my
PowerPoint that calls
glasses
out
on.
that anything that's more than 5%, here's why, here's what it was before,
Okay,
here's some information on what was the big change.
so
That's
is
what
that
we
gonna be
like.
for the public hearing?
budget.
You'll see
Oh,
our
okay.
version of it in there too.
Okay,
So we just
Okay.
did this in Dunstable. So.
okay.
So do you
Alright.
want
To
us
start
to
with-
bring just empty binders, is that what we're looking for?
There's way too much space wasted on what we don't care about.
We need
And there
binders?
needs over here,
He was asking.
I mean, no, we need, it needs to be defined, but over here needs to be a big blank
I know.
space.
I got
for
my binder
Yeah.
from
Notes.
the last time.
She's talking about notes, but him
so if you
especially
get the old one,
typing it in,
Jerry,
Yeah.
you know, or writing it in now and then typing it in later. The most important thing to me, and has been voiced around here sometime, is the word total down here.
Mhm.
What you're doing with the money, it's your department. That you stay within the town's ability to pay you for all of that stuff. That is our responsibility.
Correct.
And to be able to see those, you know, straight across here, okay, but they have to cut that down. You know, what are you going to do to fix the problem? Because you don't have the revenue this year that we had last year.
Yeah.
Okay, that 400,000 free cash that disappeared, we don't have to disappear this year.
But this is for the exercise of seeing what every department requested.
Right.
So you can make notes and be like, hey, Kieran, why does land use need $1 million for paper? That makes 0 sense.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
He says, because you all want printouts.
Yeah.
I see that.
And there are some interesting other sheets in there, like, that's sort of what
Yeah.
I brought for the
I could
town's
read that.
select board to help.
No, I agree.
I could read
You
that.
know, our problem,
Oh,
one
yeah,
of the problems I had with
yeah.
that spreadsheet thing is all those silly little, account numbers.
Yeah, no,
Oh, my word.
that's not relevant to the conversation. So,
Exactly.
all these kinds of-
What department is, 201? I don't know, neither do you.
No,
So.
but it helps with the BBA. That's why we asked this year that the account numbers and the descriptions are in the spreadsheet so that we can take them to the BBA and say, this is, apples
So
to
the
apples.
names should all match up.
Sure. They don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Another project.
and there's little things that I just happen to pick up on this BBA. Somebody has an FSA in the expense line, somebody else has the FSA in the personnel line. It's kind of like, so we gotta get consistent with process and where we're putting
But I
it.
thought we talked about that earlier when we first got together, that Nelson was gonna help us to have the
He-
form, that
he
everything
was.
would be uniform.
Well, but even of all those 24 files that Don sent, some of them were different.
Some department heads just did it on a piece of paper.
I
some
know,
did it
but
in
they
Yeah.
did
That's why I
it
like to print
differently,
it out.
and then some of the information's not there, and,
So it's gonna be the same.
well, it's like last year, because,
Valerie, I thought the board of selectmen's gonna help us with that, so that we wouldn't have.
So it was like-
sheets and everything.
I think there was a couple of places where they
I guess the
didn't.
question is what are we reviewing at the joint meetings, right? Versus what level of detail, if you need it, can you get into, right? Because when we're in those joint meetings, do we wanna be going and seeing all those account numbers, right? Or is that something that you wanna be able to look at when you need to? That's the question, I guess. Is it helpful?
You can hide those columns in those meetings, but in the reviews and looking at them, you have to have them, so
Of course.
you're
You
looking at.
don't know what you're looking at then.
But,
Right. So
having that, especially like when you get into a town meeting, having all those account numbers,
Right.
the general public, their eyes glaze over. They just, and that's on there.
Oh, yeah, they don't need the account number.
So,
The general public doesn't need the account number.
But so when we're in those
Just
meetings, if we're looking, because we want to make good use of the department head's time too, right? So if we have access to that, we can go through and ask individual questions. But in those meetings, when they're coming in here and explaining why they have something, is this sufficient for those meetings? Is, I guess, the question at hand, right?
Does that layout work?
So we
If
never,
you do have access to them when you need them.
so we never created uniform.
No, we did, right?
Yeah,
That doesn't mean everybody's filling them out the same.
Mhm.
Even, and Nelson did request in his budget memo as the treasurer, and he gave that as an example.
Right, we need that, that's exactly
In
right.
that conversation we had that said, we want this in detail, so he did send that out to all of the department heads, asking for that information.
And it didn't come back that way.
I haven't seen
Well-
one yet, so we're gonna talk about it.
they kind of did.
It's hit or miss depending on the department,
Some
different technology
So, I
abilities. So.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them,
Yeah, I
you
was
know,
gonna say,
that they put like assessor on the first page, but then the second and third pages doesn't have any identifying. So when I was printing stuff out, I had to go back and kind of like, okay,
Sure,
with
lined up with the same. yeah.
the same thing.
yeah.
I mean, it's annoying. Can you figure it out? Yeah, I could figure it out. It's annoying that they didn't identify each page so that when you printed them out, but, some printed them some sent them landscape, some sent them portrait. I mean, the information's there, it's just,
It's not formatted
I
consistently.
mean,
and-
it's just not a
Mhm.
consistency.
Never has been.
So,
Always been a complaint.
Earlier.
I know.
I thought that was one of our goals. this
Yeah,
year,
that,
to
and
have
that was what
uniform
Nelson
form.
did request it, because they all got the same form.
Yeah,
some
and
people
I saw his
Decided
letter.
not to comply.
The air conditioning in this room was
So what-
running when
what-
we started talking about that.
Department head meeting.
I had my first one.
Did you?
Yeah. I said I didn't meet the budgets and only a few did not comply.
And see, I wasn't called into that as a department head, asking for budgets.
So next,
I don't know who else.
Showed a little respect. Had it on my list.
Yeah.
You were a bullet.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
so next week, we're going to go over the budgets.
We can, if you want, and then we can ask, Harrison to come in. I mean, we did it last year, we had Harrison Or you, town clerk.
Kathy, you
It's kind of
Kathy.
like, we had Kathy and
then Melissa, wasn't it?
And then
Vicky,
Melissa with-
and Vicky and
Vicky, because they,
they
again.
do their
they'll-
job.
So we can, but I do wanna,
Are we gonna be meeting weekly now? Is that what we're doing?
yeah, I think that's where we're at, and try to stay away from the two a week.
So the 20th?
And then, yeah, so if we're talking about next meeting, it's kind of like this figure every Tuesday, and if the select board is meeting up here, then we'll be downstairs.
Every
Or,
Tuesday.
or if
Or it
their
could be
room
a
is
joint
taken, then we'll be in Great Hall.
Oh, Tuesday.
Oh, very well, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like, just, there's not that many meeting rooms here.
Musical chairs.
So
And-
just wander the halls.
Yeah, and when are you retiring, Dave?
Mhm.
Kind of-
All the kids.
We'll start meeting midday.
I'm gonna take it out with my wife.
She likes the paycheck?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna be able to come in
What?
on Tuesday?
Well,
That's-
if
that's
it's,
why we
if it's
do
like 6
Tuesday.
o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're not moving it, earlier.
We
Sometimes
gotta make Dave retire so he can do it in the afternoon.
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
even go
don't
there,
do that,
Carol. You
yeah.
don't even know.
No, my
Sorry
afternoons
about
are busy,
kind of-
Okay.
especially with this good weather.
Okay, so we'll
Good
just
weather.
continue that the next meeting.
Maybe 15.
Was this helpful for you guys
It
to have
won't
me
be
come?
50 to
Yeah.
Just like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
It is,
I'll
but
try to keep doing it as much as I
Yeah,
can.
Yeah,
I love feedback, so if you don't like the color of my shirt, just tell me. I'm pretty easygoing. It doesn't matter to me, like.
But,
don't know.
yeah, there'll be,
What's
there'll be meetings
What's
where
this thing?
conflict.
It's the Groton School.
I know that place very well, ever since I was 14 years old.
It's Groton what?
I went to a
You
public,
already said.
The Groton School.
Oh.
I went to a private
Yeah.
school down in Connecticut, and Groton was one of the prep schools that was on the recommended list.
Yeah.
But I went back to Pennsylvania to George School instead.
So do you work there? Or?
I worked there for 5 years
Okay.
and finished up.
My wife worked there before COVID too.
Yeah, I started in 2018 and finished in 2023. Yeah.
What did you do? Did you teach there? Or?
I ran their database for their admissions department.
Oh, okay. She was in the health center.
Yeah, great little spot.
Okay.
Okay, yep. If,
All right.
Wonderful.
if
You
we're,
watch.
if we're good to go, then we'll entertain the motion,
I will move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
8:05.
I'm hungry.
Okay, all in favor?
I'm not gonna even need a chance to say
Okay,
that.
unanimous?
No.
Adjourn.
I am again.